drifting against the tide. I wanna forget you, but you pull me in. I know this ocean is far too wide. I wanna forget you, let me forget you. Push and pull, but you repel me, giving up this fight. Love and hate, we learned the lies. I'm giving up this fight. You've lost, but I don't feel I have won. I wanna forget you, but only time will heal. Too late to erase the bad we've done. I wanna forget you, let me forget you. Push and pull, but you repel me, giving up this fight. Love and hate, we've learned the lies. I'm giving up this fight.
When you get the call, be ready to roll. KFC's lunch deals from $5.
Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Playday number 2 of the ANZ Pro League Season 9. My name is Cthulhu, and I'm joined by the one and only Ampli. Ampli, how you doing, mate?
How we going, guys? It's good to be here. Good to be back into the Pro League.
Yes, and we have a couple of very spicy matchups going on right now. Why don't you walk us through them, Lee?
All right, so tonight we've got two matchups for you. We actually have Fnatic versus Mindfreak, and then later on tonight we'll have Oddity versus Lowkey. Now, again, for those of you who are unfamiliar of our Pro League and how we work in APAC here, the two best of ones that are normally spread out across the season, we play them back to back. So Fnatic versus Mindfreak, and then Mindfreak versus Fnatic. Now, this has a little bit of, our first game has a little bit of up stakes on it, where, you know, Fnatic used to belong to the Mindfreak organization before Fnatic picked them up. So there's sort of a little bit of a pride there. If the new Mindfreak team could take out the old Mindfreak team, it would be a bit of a storyline.
Yeah, that would be a storyline indeed. And going like there is even some story, I do believe, as wasn't it one of the players of the current Mindfreak roster used to play for Fnatic, well, current Fnatic roster, wasn't it Kings? Or was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Indeed, Kings.
there is some rivalry in that regard happening. And let's go through the maps that we have. So we currently have 2 maps being played, being Clubhouse and Consulate, with Fnatic attacking Clubhouse and then Mindfreak attacking on Console in the first half.
Yes, this is going to be interesting. For those of you who are interested, Fnatic actually banned out Oregon. I think that's probably a smart move for them. They also banned out Villa, which is interesting to me because I know that they've put a lot of effort and practice into Villa. So they must be scared of that from the Mindfreak squad as well. We also saw a coastline ban from Mindfreak and actually a border ban from Mindfreak as well.
Yes. And funnily enough, Mindfreak has been banning Coastline consistently through both of the map bans after the very good performance that we saw Fnatic pull off on the previous Playday. Now,
yeah, I'm not really going to fault them for that at all. I think that's a really smart decision. But it's interesting to see, you know, like, as I said, Villa taken off by Fnatic both times. So they're obviously very uncomfortable with it. And Mindfreak taking border off both times as well, which is interesting to me because Fnatic have actually lost border in Pro League more than they've won it.
yeah. But with that in mind, what do you think? What's the predictions, Chief?
Well, I mean, if we're going to go through with predictions, I think you have to back Fnatic. They came second in the Pro League last season. They're the #1 team in APAC. They've consistently dominated all APAC performances. They've done really, really well in international teams. And the Mindfreak squad have just not reached that yet. So I think you really have to back Fnatic. That being said, you can make an argument for Mindfreak because Fnatic have a history of under-preparing for teams that are deemed as threats.
Right, so you reckon there might be a couple of upsetting rounds for Fnatic, as Mindfreak seem to be... Well, prior to this season, they weren't really that big. I believe they came out of CL as well, so...
Yeah, so they came out of CL is an understatement. They came charging through CL, not dropping a single match. They performed exceptionally well in there. So... and just had no challenges, right? No challenges. And they blitzed through all the relegation spots and ended up in Pro League. They've earned their spot here. And I actually think they're going to be in the top half of the bracket. So I think they're going to be a stronger Pro League team. And I think Fnatic will drop a couple of rounds to them. But I think ultimately tonight we'll see a 2 win for Fnatic.
Win for Fnatic, all right. I'll actually hold you up to that as well. I reckon we might actually... see a very close map on Clubhouse, in my opinion. Because Clubhouse yesterday was, even though Fnatic did end up winning it, it was a bit of a shaky one. So if Mindfreak managed to actually emphasize their plays off that, I reckon they could take Clubhouse. But ultimately on Consulate, I do think that will be a Fnatic map overall.
Yep, I think... I agree with you in the way that I think Clubhouse will be the closer of the 2 maps. It's definitely a more drilled, it's a more strat-heavy thing. So if Mindfreak have put in the effort for Clubhouse, they can definitely pull some results out of it because it is a more strat-based and a more drill-based map. Consulate, on the other hand, is more free-flowing, and I think that's where we're going to see the teamwork and skill difference between the 2 teams really come to a head.
All right. And we just about to head into the Clubhouse. As I say it, we will be transitioning over to the game screen, ladies and gentlemen, as Fnatic will be starting off on attack with their plays. So through banning, do you reckon we'll be seeing any oddities or just fairly standard pickups?
I think for the most part, these are going to be fairly standard pickups. A Thermite ban isn't out of the ordinary here. C1 Hard Breach being taken off the table on Clubhouse is fairly standard these days.
Yeah.
Most of the times it's leaning towards Hibana, but you can ban Thermite as well.
I mean, you never know. Maybe we will be seeing a double Hard Breach ban with only Maverick being available, but...
Considering what we saw at the latest APAC tournament, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a Monty ban, maybe. Laz ban is another one I was thinking of, so, you know, still good 2 attacking bans here. I'm fairly certain we're going to see fairly standard defensive bans, though, with Echo and Mirror.
Echo Mirror, you reckon? Yeah. Well, there goes the Echo as well. We did see Mirror slip up yesterday during the Clubhouse play as well, so I feel that maybe Fnatic will want to keep a Mirror around. Never mind, no. That will not be the case. Like you said, this will be a fairly default ban phase for both teams, except for Thermite, but yeah. Let's move into round 1, as we will be going into the big, kind of a rivalry.
We didn't really touch up on the lineups. So
Yes.
for Fnatic, a fairly well-known squad, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Magnet, Aces, Virtue, Rizraz, Lusty. Aces has... Virtue is their 6th man. He has subbed in for...
Neo Fighter.
Neo, yep, who... I'm not sure why Neo is not playing tonight, but... You know, Virtue as their latest 6th man, picked up from the VSTS squad, is playing for them. Very, very solid fragger, very good player. Meanwhile, on MF side, it is Warden, Shade, Wings, Crescent, and Kings.
Yes, and the whole lineup of Mindfreak is pretty full-on, I reckon, in my opinion, with Warden, who recently, well, not recently, somewhat recently got dropped from VSDS lineup. Shade is a great fragger. I believe you do have some history with him as well, personally.
Yes, I have played with Shade on Malice and Scylla. Shade is a very strong player. He's a very good flex player. And he's a very solid support simply because of the fact that in a pinch, Shade can frag out.
Yeah. And then we have Kings, the big player, the man who went to the previous Invitational as part of the Mindfreak roster. So, all in all, like, it's pretty good lineup, I feel. But like me and Monkey touched on before, we seeing the first round they bringing a castle, which is a questionable choice for some of the sides. But I've been arguing with Monkey that he's still a very viable and a very good pick to just even waste utility. What do you reckon about that?
He is. So Castle, you need to really have a plan for Castle if you're going to bring him. So you need to know what doors, what avenues of attack you're going to block off. And you need to think of, okay, if we need to rotate out, if we need to move out, if we need to get a flank, how are we going to do that? So you can't just... The thing about Siege is it works best when you can flank, when you can out-move off. And that is one of the best strategies for getting picks as a defender. So being able to move around the map and movability is logistics in itself. So Castle is almost counterintuitive, so you need to have a plan to bring with Castle if you're going to bring Castle.
Yeah. With that in mind, though, it does seem that Castle might actually be somewhat beneficial, as there's not really that much of a counter to him. They didn't bring a sledge for the attack, but instead there is a Buck who is raining some fire from above, as well as Lusty on his ITA-12S, which could see a frag very soon, I feel, on that rotation.
Yeah, well, I mean, that ITA, not doing a lot of destruction. It is the bane of every mirror's existence. But the first kill of this match is going to go over to MF, as Shade is going to nail the head of Rizraz. Virtue finds a very nice kill onto Crescent from above, hitting a couple of bars there, but he does manage to hit the head eventually. So there's one apiece being dropped. We have lost a Maverick and a Legion so far. Fnatic now just going to start droning their way in. They're starting to run out of time. 40 seconds here. And Magnet getting into a fight here with Kings. He's going to take him out, but Winston's going to get the refrag off to the side. That's that rotations and flanks that are so important in the siege, being able to get a refrag. At least it's 3 for 3. Health advantage still with MF though.
Yes. And Warden will be holding an angle in the church, just waiting for any push. 15 seconds left and still a 3v3 situation. Not that much of a progress made by Fnatic, as they will need to start making their way soon. Here comes the smoke grenades as the first attempt will be by Lowkey. Nice drop down as Aces picks up a kill onto Warden. Shade is the last man standing. He needs to get some action going for himself as Planet is going down. He does manage to take out Virtue. There's the shotgun, and Shade, the big man himself, the absolute unit, manages to pick up that clutch at the final moments of the plan, as Virtue does decide to stick with it and sticks with death for this round.
Well, he sort of had to stick with it. They did run out of time. Fnatic there, they unfortunately run the clock down a little bit too close. Shade comes up with a monster. I do believe that was a 4K for Shade across the round. He comes up with a nice 1v3 clutch, though, that honestly, you should argue shouldn't have happened. They knew exactly where he was. They should have known where he was going to come from, as he did kill someone in blue, and there was that rotate there. But Fnatic, unfortunately, caught a little bit with their pants down, maybe panicking a little bit. Maybe they lost track of time with the clock. We know this is an issue Fnatic has struggled with in the past. Their time management on attack is not the greatest. It was something that was brought up at the Pro League Finals for Season 8 that, you know, they struggled with a lot. So we were hoping that maybe they could have worked on that a little bit over the break that they've had. But that's not a good start so far.
Yeah, that was definitely not a good start, but at the same time we did see when Fnatic yesterday were versing Lowkey as well, the first round kind of went a bit wonky for the big star team, and Lowkey will manage to catch them off guard, but maybe the upcoming couple of rounds will be kind of the adjustment rounds for Fnatic, as they're trying to kind of read in and adjust on the Mindfreak's play out, but
attackers recovered the bomb diffuser. Attackers must locate.
But yeah, in that regard, Kings this time is playing on the Maestro and holding pretty much a similar angle that Fnatic were doing in their yesterday's Playday.
That was close to landing ahead. I think he was behind the impenetrable barrier though. But we're now going to we're now upstairs in the cash room. So we'll have to see. Ooh.
Torch ready to go.
Rizraz getting zapped until he does go upside down. That is, of course, how the interaction works. If you're upside down, you do not get zapped. I'm not sure why it works like that, but, you know, it's how it works. And there's the bandit batteries being taken out. And with no thermite, it'll be up to Cabana to open that up, and there we go.
Knock, knock.
Or they just tried to impact it. Nothing coming there. That's the second impact being used. I do believe that would be Shade. The second one actually got it, so they can only have a crouch hold here. Maybe even a prone hold. Maybe, yeah, maybe even a prone hold just because of how that goes.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Fnatic yet still uncertain of how they want to push now that their options have been limited. Virtue takes out Wings though. And you can see Crescent has moved the stairs to make sure no one comes down. Ace is still trying to find anything he can into the CCTV room. Really not finding anyone. They haven't even managed to push Garage yet. So it does look like it is going to be a construction push here from Fnatic as they are making their way into the bedrooms, and now they are starting to regroup.
Bomb has been located.
Sub 1 minute.
Tossing EMP grenade.
And yes, so it is indeed going to be a construction push.
Yes. And with that in mind, sorry everyone for all the technical issues. Still trying to keep this baby rolling, but nonetheless, so far a fairly good turnout with them, with Fnatic getting the frag onto the Valkyrie, but 25 seconds left on the clock is definitely not something that Fnatic do need. The push in by Aces and Virtue will be sorting them out with a kill each, and 2v5 just like that. 12 seconds left on the clock. They just need to stay alive. Kings is down, and now all up to Crescent to see if he can pull off some miracle, because otherwise this may not work out at all. There's the kill onto Crescent, as Virtue will be shutting him down, and that is round 2 going into the hands of Fnatic, which with a much more confident performance from them. But this definitely differs from the performance that we just seen from Fnatic in the round 1.
Yeah, well, I was actually really worried for Fnatic there with that clock running so far down. I was really worried that they were going to end up in another spot where they had to panic plant, and they just couldn't make it. So I'm lucky for them, they did manage to get it, but I mean, they're playing with fire with this clock, utilizing it to its full extent, and if anything goes wrong, they will be in trouble.
Yeah, and if Fnatic is already all in full seriousness and ready to go, this is definitely a very alarming point for MF, as if they will be missing out on them on the peaks and on the plays, this could definitely be a very short map for them.
Certainly could, but Fnatic, they are of course their own worst enemy, so I'm not going to count MF out just yet. But I think Mindfreak do definitely need to make some adaptations. They need to make changes. If something doesn't work, they need to make the changes quickly. Only by doing that will they be able to gain rounds off Fnatic, or else Fnatic are just going to keep doing what they're doing, and they're just going to keep winning. So I think trying to take Fnatic on gunfights, which is, if you're going to do the same strategy, is realistically what the difference is between the two teams. If you're going to try and take Fnatic on gunfights, you may as well just resign the match, right? Like, they are so good in their gunfights. They have really good aim, really good reaction time. So I think you need to come up with a strategy to beat them, not just try and outshoot them.
Yeah, trying to outshoot them is definitely might be a problem for Mindfreak, as Fnatic has been showing some good potential overall with the way how they've been fragging. So they definitely need to outsmart them. Like me and Monkey has been saying before, it's definitely the mind games that need to be done by the opposing team against Fnatic, because right now Fnatic are in their peak performance on the fragging side.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rizraz finds a quick kill on the Shade. Crescent's going to take out Rizraz as well, though, in reply. So a nice 1-for-1 trade. Lusty gets taken really low. He manages to get down. Warden gets the kill credit for that. That nade from Virtue finds nothing and no one. Magnet takes out Warden in reply, though. And all said and done, we are left with a 3-for-3.
Yeah, 3-for-3 is still a good turnout, and plenty of time for Fnatic to do the push, with them having still one hard breacher, one soft breacher, and the Thatcher. So so far it's a good turnout overall, but for Mindfreak, they still have pretty good fraggers. With Kings is still alive with his Alda ready to just blast everything in front of him, and overall, yeah, seems like a good setup for Mindfreak right now. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think Mindfreak definitely have the advantage here, but Virtue's going to do what he can to push it along as he manages to take out Crescent. And they do lose that Bandit. But Fnatic, they do have their way into the bomb site. The walls are open. With a man advantage here, they're actually going to find Wings that only leaves it up to Kings. He does have the Alder. This is a very, very good weapon. He's got 81 bullets. He's going to find the head of Aces, so he's only got 2 left to find now.
The issue, though, right now for Kings is that he will get pinched in a very little bit, because I do believe, yeah, Virtue was just outside. He will need to start going for the push if he does wants to catch them hands.
Oh!
Nice peek by Kings as he picks up a kill into Virtue. Now a 1v1 situation, and time is running out. Magnet does need to start rushing in, and he is getting tagged.
He needs to stay alive. He doesn't need to do anything, and he's going to win it via time. Very, very smart play there. A 1v3, and he manages to pull it down to a 1v1, and he just backs away. If that timer hits 0, he charges forward and finds the planter. If it hits 0 and the game finishes, he wins. Either way, it's a win-win by him backing out. He doesn't need to take the gunfight, and just like that, MF are up 2-1.
Indeed they are, and a very good playout. Like we just saw before, I believe that was Shade that managed to clutch up round 1. Now we're seeing Kings clutch up round 3. And so far, overall, Mindfreak showing some good promise. Bro, what do you reckon?
Yeah, well, we did say that Mindfreak might be able to take a bit of a fight, especially on this first map for Clubhouse, and so far is what they're doing. Leading the way, if they're trading rounds 1 for 1 and they lead the way, I'm pretty sure that is a fairly acceptable outcome for Mindfreak at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, if you trade 1 for 1 all the way through and you get to the end, you draw. And I think Mindfreak would probably be happy with a draw for Fnatic. Fnatic actually had the most draws last season, in Season 8, in the ANZ Pro League. They had the most draws out of any team, so I know they are very unhappy with the draw. They consider it a loss, right? When Mindfreak look at their stats, when Fnatic look at their stats, if they see a draw, that counts as a loss to them. Wins are the only things that are important. So they really wanted to go undefeated in this season, so I think that if Mindfreak can pull out a draw here, that will be big for them, and I think they'll be very happy with that.
Indeed, and but at this very moment, so far, Fnatic are also leading on the leaderboards, points wise, as I believe them and Oddity managed to grab 6 points total in the previous Playday. What is interesting, like after tonight, Fnatic and Mindfreak, their weeks, Fnatic and Oddity, their weeks are done. So they don't have any games on Friday night. So, you know, they need to get the points from tonight because they don't have another opportunity this week. Yeah, so they need as many of them as possible. And right now, Warden will be caught off guard as he tries to play a sneaky game on the right at the bottom of the stairs, but will be caught up at the very trivial spot by Virtue. And at this very moment, the push that is Fnatic doing, opening up all the floor everywhere, just trying to get all the peak spots possible, is definitely a much more explosive turnout rather than the previous 3 rounds like we've seen before. That is a nice shot as well by Virtue, right through the beams onto Crescent's body. And 3v5 just like that, with still plenty of time for the attackers to go for.
Yeah, Virtue has done very, very well. He's found the 2 kills. You know, he's got both of them, so puts him in a very solid advantage, still with 1:30 left on the clock. So, you know, halfway through the round, 2-man advantage. You've got to be happy with that if you're Fnatic. You can just slow down, drone it out, and just find these picks. There's no need to take silly fights. Shade, trying to find what he can see. Trying to see what he can find, sorry. Does notice the dirt tunnel is entirely closed, so he's going to call that out. There's valuable information to Mindfreak. So right now, they know that Fnatic, they have to come from a different angle.
Right now, Wings might be in a bit of a peculiar situation as well, as there's one push happening from the newly made stairs in the supply, and there's a oil pit push as well happening in a very short bit. So right now, the clever idea will be for Kings and Wings to fall back, but right now, with just under 40 seconds left, the main push is about to commence in a 5v3, and Rizraz makes it a 5v2 just like that, but Kings and Wings will be traded out. Magnet will be finding the final kill from the blue tunnel, and that is round 4, now evening out the score once again to 2-2.
Yeah, that round going very much in Fnatic's favor. Very dominant round. They only lost 1 person that whole round, so very, very clean round for them. And that lies with their picks. You know, Warden getting picked off at the very, very beginning of the map. And I believe it was Crescent who got picked off pretty much straight after him. Good work from Virtue to be able to, you know, capitalize on finding those picks, capitalizing on people being, you know, caught unawares and in very bad positions. So,
Virtue
did a lot of work that round for them.
Yeah, Virtue so far has been showing great potential and showing just in general a good showcase of his skills and his ability to blend in with the rest of the team, as so far everything from Fnatic's pushes and defenses have been fairly fluent so far. So I'm curious whether Mindfreak will continue to try to force their game or rather try to adjust, because they're picking the same side once again. And my main question is, can they readjust their plays? Because Warden now also swapped over to a dock. Does it say anything to us for now, or rather it is just one of those like tilt picks?
I'm not quite sure what the dock is meant to achieve. If it's just for the ACOG, that's fair enough. I don't think the stim pistol will do that much, as Fnatic are not missing those headshots. But the dock could just be for barbed wire and an ACOG. The MP5 is obviously a very, very good weapon, so you can bring dock just for that weapon as well. But I'm more interested in the fact that Mindfreak actually reinforced the what we call the Ash Wall. So the Ash Wall is the first wall onto Armory from the main stairwell. It's called that because, you know, Ash players used to run down the main stairs, bust open that wall, and literally walk onto site within like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So they've reinforced that wall, but the fact that that wall more often than not gets opened up now, right? Like, it gets used as a rotate, looking holes. You can find people get flanks through it and all sorts of stuff. Be able to get nice little peeks through it as you look down that tunnel, as you catch people dropping down the moto hatch. So it's interesting to me that they have decided to reinforce that, and I'd be really interested to hear exactly why they decided to do that.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, we will be seeing Magnet starting to pop open the hatch with the Gumine in his hand, and handing it really quickly to get the hatch as open as quickly as possible. Whereas Ibana will be doing some work with the Xkyros pellets to pop open the kitchen hatch. So Fnatic, if they will be able to have two flanks open straight off and go for those pushes, they might have some good advantage going for themselves, as we just saw before. Oh my lord, that is a very nasty angle. Nicely done by Virtue. Once again, the current prolific Buck player for Fnatic has been showing some great potential overall.
Yeah, very, very good six-man pickup for Fnatic indeed. He's going off right now, but again, Warden is the first one to drop for a second round in a row. He's had 0 impact now for a little while, so Warden needs to stop getting caught out. He needs to stop getting himself pinched.
Yeah,
and himself found by Virtue.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Lusty is attempting to has attempted to get some closure with his foot tracker, but no, nothing just yet. He will be spotting though potentially the push at the dirt tunnel, where I mean Crescent will be spotting that, but will be swiftly taken out by Magnet, as he just expects that kind of opposition straight off.
So Fnatic knew he was there. Right, so Crescent actually got shot at running into the dirt tunnel. Yeah. So the call would have gone out. One has run into dirt. They knew he was there, so the pre-fire by Magnet was actually a really good spot. Magnet still trying to lead this entry frag, but with 10 seconds left, they need to get the diffuser on site because they have to go for these frags, otherwise Lusty has dropped. Who's got the diffuser? Lusty has. He has to go for the plant now. And is all up to wings. He's in a 1v4, 1v3 because Virtue is down. He finds one. The plant actually finishes, so he's got 2 left, but Lusty picks him up through the wall. Fnatic take round number 5.
Yeah, so Fnatic now look much more confident in their playouts. They do want to get those sweet 6 points off Mindfreak, and Mindfreak so far looking like they do have a good setup. They have a good idea about how to play it out, but unfortunately, they just can't. They seeming to be letting it through very quickly at the very end of the round. They seeming to be just unable to prevent any of the pushes, and yeah, just like that, it's a 3-2 now, lead by Fnatic, and a last round of the first half.
But again, the Ash Wall that got reinforced protected Lusty.
Yeah.
Right? If that wall wasn't reinforced, Wings could have stopped the plant from the safety of the blue
Attackers need to
side,
locate
right?
and
Or
defuse the bomb.
maybe really just peeking out to church. Because he found one, he could have easily have stopped that plant, shot him through the wall, and MF would have won the round. But instead, they reinforced that wall, and Fnatic use it to their advantage as well.
Yeah. Now we will be seeing the final defense round from Mindfreak to be at the master bedroom and gym, which to me feels like it might actually be the one to hold Fnatic off, because we did see a fair few variations of that very kind of flexible play out and flexible defense from the defenders, both from Lowkey that we saw before versus Fnatic and the Oddity versus Taboo. And so
Yes.
yeah,
It's interesting that they've gone for this bomb site. They could have gone back to cash at this point. So this to me says they're trying to cheese a win on their last round, right? So they're going to
Could be
go for
that.
their tertiary bomb site, which they don't have to go for because currently the entire map is open to them. But they decided to potentially go for their last bomb site.
well, the thing is, they might have, like you said, tease it out and just throw off the opposing team, because Fnatic would have thought similar thing. Yeah, they are going for the cash. They'll just be able to just play it out the same way. They know what mistakes were made. But this time, since it's on master bedroom and gym, this will require a separate approach, which Mindfreak still haven't showed yet on this matchup. And right now, Fnatic might actually be thrown off if that will be the case.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, Fnatic, they have strats for this attack. We know that they do. They've had to attack this bomb site multiple times in Pro League before, and even in internationally, so they can attack it. We know they've got strats for it. And Virtue trying to get this ping off.
Virtue's
He's going to go for a surprise hammer. Here's Johnny, and he's going to miss the shot. Warden finds one. Crescent is going to headshot Virtue, though, so he loses the duel. Crescent's going to back out of Con, though, back on the site, and that leaves Mindfreak in a two-man advantage.
a very good turnout as well for Crescent, as he doesn't lose a single bit of health from that firefight as well. So this is a win-win for him as well. And 3v5, and it does certainly seem that Fnatic have been slightly thrown off as they tried to improvise a little bit with the tracking of the Jaeger, but to the potato nature of the sixth core player of Fnatic, unfortunately, that the downing of the defensive player didn't happen really. But nonetheless, Lusty will be attempting to get some peaks going, but essentially will be the main info gatherer now for Rizraz, as the man himself will be trying to get the frags going, as well as aces. It seems very desperate as well, a very desperate attempt from Fnatic to try to get some closure, because no more Hex Kairos left, Jim is fully locked out, and Crescent picks up a kill onto Rizraz, and both of the players of Fnatic are nowhere near the objective, so it very much feels like a MF win.
Yeah, it's certainly looking at it, and that's pretty much going to ensure us. It leaves it all up to Aces now. Aces gets tagged. Crescent! Oh, what a shot. Manages to pick it up there. Mindfreak take a very comfortable round there, and we end the half 3-3.
Yeah, 3-3, and so far a very back-and-forth performance by both teams. Fnatic now, they're going on defense, and I do think that they might actually show us a much closer play-out, as we did see their general fragging capabilities quite good.
They're getting your brother in here.
Yeah,
getting your kindred spirit.
getting my my kindred spirit, aka Capcan, out. And Magnet did show some some Capcan performance yesterday, but that won't be the case, at least for this round, as the 6th pick onto Valkyrie will happen, whereas Warden actually will be swapping out Buck for a Maverick, so which I'm somewhat questioning.
Going to Gym first is an interesting choice by Fnatic. Maybe they just feel that comfortable that, I mean, eventually in a perfect world, eventually you do have to defend every bomb site, so getting it out of the way isn't the worst thing in the world.
Well, yeah, and ever since the whole clubhouse buff, Jim and Master Bedroom has become a very viable choice to defend as well, and Fnatic showed that very thing was in the previous
10 seconds.
Playday.
Yeah, but it's still interesting as a first bomb site though as well. But that being said, I actually think that the lineup from Mindfreak is very good for attacking the Jim and Bedroom. And there's a lot of bodies hanging around Cash right now.
Yeah, a fair chunk of bodies will be holding there as Fnatic will be expecting some sort of aggression start off from the CCTV and Cash, but it certainly looks like the opposite as Resner is already close by, Whip Kings, and ready to breach the west wall into the hallway, but there's already a wild Rizraz with the mute jammers ready to go.
Yeah, that EMP was really nice. Managed to get control back of his drone. Rizraz going to attempt to try and trick the X-Kairos. No, he's not. He's going to back up as he doesn't have a signal disruptor in his pocket. There goes the EMP. The X-Kairos is going to open. And now Rizraz is left to defend from the bathroom.
Which is still a very good spot to hold out, but without Amira is certainly going to be a bit of a challenge to pull off for the Fnatic player. But now is the question: how will Mindfreak use this open hole? Will it going to be their foothold to push, or whether it'll be just used to cut out the rotations? Because right now Wings is having his back turned to Rizraz, and this could go very south as both him and Warden are lined up. Yeah, they both lined up, and if there was a peek out, that would have been an easy kill.
Yeah, Ace is going to start smoking out. Minute 30 left. They know he's there now. I think they were pretty much aware of it. Ooh, Aces, he's getting
Aces is getting ready. He's preparing himself and hyping himself up.
Warden going to find the first kill. They're still not fully committing to Aces. They can see the laser sight. So they still know he's there. They still know he's peeking. And there goes the gas grenade. Ace is going to lose a little bit of health. It's going to force Wings probably forward as he drops half of his health from the gas babe. Wings is going to have to back out into the stairs and probably reload his weapon. But Aces still hasn't been pushed out of logistics.
And that is going to be an issue.
Yeah, he could sit here for as long as he likes. With the shotgun, he is within full power. There it is. He gets the kill on the Wings at half health. Tries to peek out again. He's losing more health each time he does it, though. There's the final gas babe. Warden's going to get him with the Deagle. Oh, sorry, not with the Deagle, with the 1911. And Present finds one as well. This is starting to look really, really good for Mindfreak. Lusty's going to try and get a rotate through. Finally, there picks up Warden. Gets himself a second. No, he loses the gunfight to Shade. Shade picks up a double kill to make it a Mindfreak win. As Fnatic tries to take the tertiary bomb site and fails.
Very nice play out by Mindfreak, although a bit of a risky one as they had several moments where they were perfectly lined up for Aces to get that double kill. But at the end, even after losing the Zofia, that was a good play out overall. But I do want to point out one thing, Lee, is that the plan has never gone down during that round. So it was purely a frag-packed round with Mindfreak. I don't think they were actually in full control at the very least of either of the sides. They were just around and waiting for Fnatic's aggression.
Yeah, well, I think that, in all honesty, Aces was the one who was in control of that round, right? If you were to look for a core moment of that round where everything went horribly for Fnatic, it was when Aces got dropped out of that, out of logistics, right? He was in a shotgun in a close quarters area. He literally could have just stood there and shot people as they came around the door, right? Like, they had to come to him. He was in full control of the area. Throwing that final gas babe was a bit of a mistake by him. Yeah. And I think he could have just sat there and shotgun people. Yeah. So he was the power player of that round, I think.
Yeah, he definitely did have plenty of leverage during that round. But yeah, unfortunately for him, he ended up making that one mistake that cost him the life in that round, and essentially the round itself for Fnatic. So far, Mindfreak getting that lead once again. My main question is now, can they solidify it with another round, or whether we will be seeing another back and forth kind of series on this second half?
Yeah, well, it's very good for Mindfreak to pick up what they have, but Capcan managed to get through. And he's still setting up cap traps all over the place. He's still on a nice roam. There is not a Jackal for Mindfreak. So if he does decide to sit up top, we are seeing a lot of drones going up top. As without the Jackal, it's making it exceptionally hard for Mindfreak to take control of the map. Rizraz gets tagged up very heavy. He actually gets down. Warden's going to get kill credit for that. A nice pinch between Kings and Warden. Virtue takes out Shade though. Warden trades back onto Magnet though. That's a double kill for Warden now.
I do want to point out
very, very well.
I do want to point out that Mindfreak didn't bring even IQ as well to battle those Capcan traps, so they have a very high chance of getting through them. But Warden is being very thorough on that. But I feel that the power of Capcan is when you're forcing the attacking team to go for those last moment rushes, and that's where you can catch them off guard. Because, and that's where I think Magnet might get some kills from the grave. Whereas, I mean, 4v3, still plenty of time right now, and Mindfreak are showing off pretty well. Losing Capital definitely not the best thing to lose, but at the same time, right now, they still have a very strong operator roster to take control of the side.
Losing Capital will make the final push a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Oh, Lusty. That was almost a kill. He gets shot from above, doesn't get damaged, though. That was almost a kill for Lusty. He's trying to go for the impact trick. Lusty on a sliver of health. He is going to have to back out. And I think he missed the impact trick too, just to add insult to injury on top of all that.
Yeah, he ended up flinching at just the last moment before throwing that impact, which allowed Mindfreak to finally get the breach. And so far, looking at the health of both teams, so far Mindfreak still have two players on full health and 2 players on half health, whereas Fnatic, well, Lusty is already just... you blow a slight bit of wind at him and he's gonna die, and then Aces and Virtue on full health, so definitely not in defense favored round so far, but clock is ticking. Not a single push yet made so far towards the site.
Yeah, 30 seconds left. Mindfreak's going to have to decide exactly how they're planning on pushing, and it looks like it's going to be a blue and dirt pinch. Virtue is going to find Crescent. That's going to ease the pressure a lot for Fnatic here. But with 20 seconds left, here comes the dirt push. Virtue's going to find himself for second as he manages to headshot Kings. That's going to be a dead Warden as Lusty is just sitting in the corner of that tunnel, which only leaves up to Wings. Wings drops into a 3-man crossfire, and Lusty picks him up.
Well, that escalated quickly, Flea. As we were just saying that this might be the round for Mindfreak, but even with 3 people remaining, Fnatic managed to take the dub very swiftly, I'd say.
Yep. What Fnatic did well there was the crossfires.
Yes.
Right? They had people watching every single exit, and they had people who could, and they were sitting in very, very good spots to hold different angles, but to cover each other off as well. Right? So it was very, very smart gameplay by Fnatic. They were sitting in very intelligent spots to be able to refrag if they needed, but to also cover their own sectors. So Fnatic, very, very good positioning from their last 3-man squad, and they made Mindfreak pay for the fact that they ran the clock down so low.
Yeah.
Attackers need to locate
and
defuse as many bombs
it definitely felt like it was not Fnatic's prowess that managed to drain that time. It was Mindfreak's inability to just make the final decision on like how do they want to push, because they had so many flanks open for them. They had so many possibilities, but eventually at the end they ended up splitting up, and yeah, it felt very disorganized even to me.
Yeah, I think they were sort of hoping to just drop and win the 1v1 gunfights, which, again, I've said before on this cast, trying to win a 1v1 gunfight against Fnatic,
that is not an easy thing to do.
Not the best strategy that you can come up with.
Not at all.
Right? Like, that is not a strategy you want to be relying on at this point, right? Like,
yeah, not at all indeed. And with that in mind, though, we're back to 4-4, and we might actually, at this pace, see the draw if Mindfreak and Fnatic will keep going at it. Which is still going to be a good showcase for Mindfreak if they manage to draw it out on Clubhouse, which would return back the whole trend of Fnatic not having a good performance.
Let's just think about, oh, Virtue. That's a quick kill on the Shade. Losing Capitao again. That's the second round in a row Shade has been dropped straight off the board.
Yeah, Shade is not having a good time right now. And at the same time, though, the west wall has been breached into the hallway, so they once again have that rotation cutoff position, but now Wings is in a bit of a peculiar situation because I think he does know that there might be somebody downstairs, or at the stairs at least, but does end up tagging himself magically.
Yep.
But yeah, there's still a roamer downstairs, and I don't think they know about him just yet. This is a suspicion.
If they're not aware of him, they are cautious. They've seen the head. He's going to pop up, but he's going to lose the gunfight. Wings gets the kill credit onto that as Magnet does get down. But Wings takes a lot of damage. Wings takes a lot of damage. But again, the power play here is going to be Aces. He's still sitting in that closet. He's still sitting in logistics. So he can do a lot of damage when they have to come and deal with him. Because where he's sitting, he can cover off a whole bomb site from where he's sitting. So
yeah,
they're going to have to clear everyone else from the Fnatic lineup except Aces if they're going to attempt to plant. Or they can try and flush Aces out.
Yeah, well now there's the confirmation where Aces is, and the first gas grenade will be coming out, and Wings will need to be very careful as he's very low on health. Kings will be down now in the firefight against Virtue, and Rizraz picks up a double kill with the shotgun, and the diffuser is right by him in a very cozy position. So now it is all up to Wings on a slither of health to try to clutch this, but another peek from Rizraz will be scoring Fnatic the win in the round as they're now taking the lead in this wild race between the two contenders for the big throne.
Yeah, so very interesting to note that Ace is there. He held his cool this time. He didn't try and get aggressive on them. He sat back. He was a bit more reserved this time, and you could see the pressure that he put on them just by sitting where he was sitting. They couldn't deal with him. They couldn't push him, so they had to go the other way. And then there was Rizraz with the shotgun, and he collected himself a 3k. So that was much better play by Fnatic, and much better awareness by Fnatic of what Mindfreak were going to do as well.
Yeah, it does certainly also feel that this time Fnatic were way more conservative about their plays. They just sat down, held the angles, and were waiting for Mindfreak's aggression, because like we just saw, I do believe at least two members of Mindfreak ended up lining up for that shotgun. And look at
13 frags for Virtue.
13 frags for Virtue, just like we were saying before. He fixed them just perfectly for the Fnatic lineup, as his Jaeger and Buck plays Orb just perfect.
Yep, so Fnatic obviously very happy with the pickup of Virtue. He is performing very, very well, and for anyone who had any lingering questions about the 6-man roster for Fnatic and how it's going to play, and even there were questions around the time when we saw it happen, how's it going to affect the team synergy of Fnatic? Is he going to be a sub? Is he
because they worded it quite differently as well.
Yeah, is he going to have as much synergy with the team? Is he going to have as much playtime with the team? And here's your answer, guys. Virtue fits in with the team seamlessly. Right? This 6-man pickup from Fnatic is actually a good thing for the team, I believe.
It feels almost as if it wasn't actually just a pickup, as if he used to play with them before. Which is definitely a good showcase, and Warden is attempting to open up a very big hole, but in a very silent manner.
That is gonna use a lot of his blowtorch, and it's actually going to be very, very difficult for him to complete that. He's got wings for cover, but a single straight bullet to the head is all it's going to take to stop that hole being open.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Fnatic already made a couple of rotations into Garage as well, as there was some activity just around it, with now both Virtue and Magnet setting up and around. And Wooden with Wings might actually be going for a bit of a northeast push through the supply and the small supply room into the blue tunnel, so maybe that could throw off the Fnatic defense. Find that out in a very short moment.
Yeah, minute 30 left though, so we're halfway through the rounds. No kills on the board. Aces is the only one who has taken damage so far. Maybe a garage push coming from Mindfreak here. I think that's what they're trying to set up for.
Does certainly look like it, but I don't think Shade is actually expecting that ACOG, but certainly could do some damage. Never mind, Virtue with still full health will be able to easily peek onto Shade, but Kings will be trading out Rizraz straight off, so that is the mute gone. Watch that pixel angle. He knows that somebody might be peeking from there, but very cautious of that, and the Mindfreak player, I do believe that was Wings, was attempting to pull that off. Will be backing out.
Yeah,
but
very unfortunate for Shade. He whiffed the Capital Bolt, but Virtue's getting aggressive again. That's his second one as he's going to drop Kings now.
Yeah, but I still believe there's 2 more people to contest that, and ooh, Virtue is getting tagged up quite heavily, gets into a firefight. Just can't seem to finish out Warden, but there's the trade. The pistol trades will be on board as Lusty picks up a kill onto Wings. All up to Crescent now, who needs to get something going for himself. In 1v3 situation, can he pull this off once again? As the absolute madman before managed to clutch it. There's the C4 shut down. So now here comes the peaks, but with a crossfire like that, and there's really not much there is to it. This Magnet will be shutting him down.
Yeah, that was really great play by Fnatic, and Virtue in particular, MVP of that round for me. Just he gets 3 people before he gets traded out, and the only reason he gets traded out is because, you know, he gets an actual trade onto Warden.
Yeah.
But Fnatic now on match point, they've won the last 3 rounds in a row. Right, the last 3 rounds in a row have gone to Fnatic. That is the longest streak we've seen this game. Otherwise, it has been swap after swap after swap after swap for rounds. So, Fnatic, they can feel it, they can taste it. Mindfreak is slowly getting pushed back into the corner.
Yeah, it doesn't. It definitely seems like Mindfreak are slowly running out of ideas how to outplay Fnatic, because with them defending, they had the element of surprise with how they could defend it, but this time all cards are just open and unveiled, and Mindfreak seeming to be a bit lost for some of their pushes. And looking at it, with the only thing that they're switching up is Shade finally deciding to completely drop Capitao, as that seemed to be the unlucky pick, and Wings bringing in a Zofia instead of a Buck, which could see the difference, but
yeah. So Shade on Capitao, he's been the first one to die every single round that he's played it. Right, like that's not a good stat.
5 seconds to
yeah,
insertion.
Yeah,
not
like,
at all.
He's been the first one to die every single round he's played Capitao. He whiffed the Firebolt last time, which Virtue took full advantage of. So I think dropping the Capitao is by far the smartest move they could have made.
Quite possibly, but now here comes the question: can they pull it out? Because right now this may be the final round of this map before Fnatic might potentially could take that with 3 points, and otherwise Mindfreak will need to sweat it out full on. But they will move out. Ooh, Warden unfortunately whiffing the shots onto Rizraz. Does find him, tag him up a little bit more. Will be going for a couple more pre-fires, but just can't find the body at the end.
Rizraz with his 9 lives manages to get out alive somehow.
Yeah.
Like, Rizraz definitely playing with fire there.
Yeah, he was definitely
Warden gonna not be very happy with himself for that one, I don't think. He had 2, technically 3 chances to kill Rizraz, as he did just barely miss it. Rizraz does get reset though.
Yeah.
So he's back to 50 HP.
So for Rizraz right now, he did lose the kind of the pressure point where he could stay around and waste some time, but at the same time, being able to get out from that kind of a very peculiar spot and not losing your life is also a good thing. So right now, Fnatic are in a bit of a comfort spot right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty happy with themselves. They have wasted about a minute half here. Well, I shouldn't say wasted. They've managed to get full map control. But it comes down to now, Mindfreak have to start getting picks, right? If they don't get picks, this is the most important part of the round for the defense. If they don't get picks, they're going to win. Rizraz, though, going to find Kings as he pushed down. He was too worried about the Goon Mine.
Yeah,
Wasn't worried enough about being peeked by a mute player.
Yeah, Kings at the very last moment, unfortunately, for himself, loses his head. This time, Warden might actually see if he can finally take out the mute player or the smoke to avenge his brother-in-arms, but right now 40 seconds and still not that much progress made by the attackers. Magnet will be picking off Crescent as well, and that is the roamer up above, completely no control of the upstairs, allowing the Fnatic player to just really roam around and wreak havoc from above, which could very quickly steal the deal.
Yep,
for
and
Fnatic.
here comes that push. Finally going to happen. 15 seconds left. Warden gets a kill on the Rizraz. The smoke comes out. Lusty's going to take out Wings. They can't plan as Shade finds one, but Aces is finally going to kill him with the gas, babe, and that only leaves it up to Warden. Slither of health, and that is Virtue picking it up, and Fnatic going to take the first matchup here and net themselves 3 points.
Points indeed, and very well performed at the end by Fnatic. We will be seeing some... oh, that is a very zoomed out camera as well. But nonetheless, yeah, I'd still say that Mindfreak managed to pull off some good plays, good performance overall. Virtue on 17 kills. That is
He's a monster.
He's an absolute madman on these plays. And yeah, that was a somewhat quick play out. All the rounds that we did see were either favored quite heavily in favor of either Fnatic or Mindfreak. We didn't see as many of those rounds that were like down to the last moment with like 1v1s, where the teams would just stretch it out.
Yeah, so we actually saw very few attempts at a plant at all across that whole map. I think we only got a single plant down, and I think we had 2 people killed while attempting to plant. So, you know, in total about 3 or 4 attempts at planting. Other than that, it was just frag offs. So I think that says a lot about how, you know, the teams tried to play there. But I think that Fnatic, they're going to be happy with the W. Like, a win's a win at the end of the day. But it definitely took them a while to warm up there. But 4 round wins in a row in the second half of that map. Maybe they just worked out Mindfreak's number.
Yeah, it definitely seemed that closer to the end of this matchup, the Fnatic managed to finally find their mojo back and get the momentum on them with with their defense. But enough of Clubhouse. Next up, we have Consulate with Mindfreak on attack for the first half. Talk me through, Flea. How do you reckon we could see the development of Consulate?
I think this is going to be a much more Fnatic-heavy map.
Okay.
I think that Fnatic are going to be able to play their own thing. It's much easier on this map over Clubhouse to get flanks, to get picks, and we know Fnatic love to pinch people, right? They love to get their flanks and they love to get their crossfires. It is something that they really enjoy doing, and I think they can do that a lot easier on Consulate than they could on Clubhouse. So pushing forward, I think they're going to be able to execute their favored strategies a bit better on this map over Clubhouse. So I think Mindfreak are definitely going to be pushed back more into a corner on Consulate. But again, anything's possible.
Yeah, anything is possible indeed. And I mean, overall, Mindfreak's issue on, at least on offense, is that their plays are fairly just one-dimensional. They usually seeming to be pushing in at one spot. They don't have too much of a spread between their flanks, and general, like, yeah, the offense was definitely quite lackluster compared to the defense, where Mindfreak were actually able to show some teeth.
Yes. So I think Mindfreak struggled to adapt mid-round. I think that was probably the biggest thing that I noticed there. So whenever the attack started to go poorly from the beginning, they struggled to adapt and they struggled to pull out something different. Like, we saw them get 2 early picks there when they were attacking Cash. They had 2 players get picked fairly early, both from the garage. So what does the rest of the team do? Converge on garage, right? Yeah. So you've already lost 2 players to Virtue in the garage, so let's just keep throwing more at him. And what's more, they kept throwing more at him in a 1v1 situation, right? So yeah, it wasn't like they were attempting to try and pinch him out of garage. It was, hey guys, let's just keep filing in to the garage. Like, I think that was more of a brute force option than an actual adaptation or smart strategy. And yeah, so I think if Mindfreak need to adapt better mid-round, I think.
Yeah, it definitely looked like they were a bit lost on how to approach. Like, whenever you have already, like, yeah, like you said, lost 2 people to that one peak, rather than trying to contest it or throwing more people, go around it. See if you can push blue tunnel from the small supply room. See if you can push it from above and blank out that garage player. Like, go around. But nonetheless, enough of that, as we are moving on to the second map, being Consulate, ladies and gentlemen. And banning-wise, what do you reckon we're gonna see from both teams? Because to me, it feels like we might see Blackbeard or Glazov. There we go.
Yeah, Blackbeard ban, you called it. So Fnatic taking away the Blackbeard. That's a fairly standard ban for Consulate. There's a lot of windows, a lot of very strong spots that Blackbeard can play as. Mindfreak are going to take Buck off the board.
Okay.
So there goes the vertical utilization.
Yeah, and...
A fairly solid ban because most of Consulate floors are destructible.
Yeah, and Buck, taking Buck off is definitely going to be a substantial ban, especially with Mindfreak utilizing a couple of times, but not to full extent. We did see actually Fnatic mostly doing it, as that could be actually a counter ban against Virtue, who has been showing us some great prowess in the previous map.
Yeah, so I think that the Valkyrie ban is definitely targeted towards Fnatic. It's also just a very good generalist ban, right? Like, Valkyrie is very potent on this map. A lot of trees, a lot of places to hide Valk camps outside. The Echo ban as well, not really too surprised about that. But all in all, a very interesting ban phase. The Buck to me is mostly going to be about that middle and bottom floor bomb sites. And, you know, it was a Mindfreak ban, and we are going to see the split bomb site come out of Fnatic first.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Archives and Tellers wasn't that of a popular site so far, but
Fnatic played it first in an international tournament, right? Like, the first time they brought it out on stage was an international event.
Yes.
And it worked for them the first time.
As many bombs as they can.
It didn't work for them the second time, and it didn't work for them the third time. They played it a total of 3 times, I believe, off the top of my head, right? In international.
Yeah.
This was at the same LAN, and they got a 1 out of 3 success rate.
Yeah, so they might have the element of surprise on this one, but that will be just about it for their advantages, I feel. Whereas what is also quite interesting for me, Flea, is that Magnet initially picked a Maestro, which is quite a popular pick, and then swapped him out for Capcan once again, which, I mean, once again, brownie points to Magnet for that, but but at the same time, it's still a bit of a peculiar change. Like, I would have understood if swapping out something like a Legion for Capcan or something similar, or Pulse for Capcan, but...
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting pick, but I mean, that being said, on the split bomb side, how much use do you really get out of the Evil Eyes, right? Like, where do you deny something with those Evil Eyes? Do you stop the plant somewhere with those Evil Eyes? Like, it's very... Well, Maestro's utility is almost wasted, I feel, but because I don't know if there's any good spots for the Evil Eyes, and I would trust Fnatic's judgment to say that no, there isn't. And maybe that's why they subbed it out.
It could be that, but I would disagree with you on that. Maestro's utility is a bit useless on Consulate, as even like during
no, just on the bomb side.
Yeah, on this current bomb side. It could still be used to a fairly good extent with its ability to look through the smokes. It could very much relay a lot of information to the defenders when the main plant phase will go down.
Yeah, the nade getting lobbed through the wall doesn't really tag up Virtue. In fact, I don't think it tagged him up at all.
It did tag him up a little bit. But with that in mind, though, Virtue does end up completely defaulting back down to the bottom floor and back on the main spiral, where he could actually catch a couple of attackers off guard, as I don't think they would be expecting, as currently the main clear out of the top floor is being conveyed with already a half a round being gone. So right now, this is not the brightest turnout for Mindfreak, but Fnatic are also having a couple of their players tagged up, and mainly being Magnet, who is quite low on the HPs.
Yeah, he is. And the worst thing about this bomb site is you don't have to lose control of both bomb sites, you only have to lose control of one. Magnet's actually going to find Warden.
Yeah, and
so
that
the
is
health
the...
Magnet doesn't care, he's still going to pick up his kills.
Yeah, and that is also a pretty big one. Sledge off the board is definitely going to be a bit of a hindrance with any future, well, any short-term future. With the planter has been successfully planted, with I do believe hearing a couple of C4s going off to try to prevent. Wings picks up a kill onto Magnet, making it 4v4, but Lusty swiftly takes out Wings with a nice headshot, but gets lost a little bit in the next firefight as he is a bit puzzled as into the location of the attacker. Crescent will be missing, completely missing out the defender.
Site blocked it, the defuse is starting, Virtue picks himself up a double kill, Shade's going to find Lusty in reply, but did they stop the defuse? No, they didn't. Fnatic going to pick it up with a very nice retake.
Yeah, that was a very swift retake, and I am a bit confused. How did that turn out? Because Virtue managed to get 2 players of Mindfreak lined up for him, and he just sprayed them down. And after that, Mindfreak just had no foothold on this side. They were all too far away, and with Sledge down, they didn't even have the ability to open up any holes to overlook into that side. So overall, a bit of a sloppy performance on the first round. And do you reckon this could be the tilt settling in for Mindfreak?
Nah, I don't think it's a tilt. These players are better than that. They're more experienced than that, so they're not going to be tilted. But I think, for me, a key moment there was the ACOG hiding Virtue. Right, so Virtue was actually out in the open for a little while, and he could see, I don't know who it was. I think it might have been Crescent.
Yeah, that was Crescent.
Yeah, Crescent in the lobby, but he was patient, right? He didn't shoot immediately, and Crescent's ACOG was actually hiding Virtue.
Yeah.
So, I think that, you know, if just looked slightly to the right, he would have been able to see Virtue, and if he took him out, you know, how different would the round have been?
10 seconds left.
We don't really know that, but, you know, definitely potential there.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of potential in that play out if those 2 Mindfreak players didn't go down, but nonetheless, second plant to defend will be the top floor in the meeting and console office. And to me, here's a question. Shade is back on the Capitao. Is he gonna go down first?
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. It happened a lot on Clubhouse. He died first 3 out of the 3 times he took it. Actually, I think it was 4 out of 4. But Magnet, almost quick to break that curse, as he's been taken really, really low. Lusty getting very aggressive on that front door, but not going to find anything and just going to back up the stairs. Mindfreak, of course, gathered all that info off that drone. That was a very, very beautifully paced drone.
Yeah. Now, Warden will be attempting to get some grenade kills from the admin windows to dish out some punishment onto Rizraz, who is very patiently sitting behind that mirror window, and I don't think he will allow anytime soon for the attackers to move in. Virtue will be picking up the first kill onto Kings, but Lusty will be down already, but not out yet. There we go. There's the Ash kill onto Lusty, with Warden now also outing Virtue, the big player for Fnatic, making it a 3v4. But even with that man disadvantage, we did see before when during Clubhouse, if Fnatic have the crossfire set up quite well, they're pretty much unstoppable. And right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case, because right now Warden will be trying to contest with that, but I don't think we'll be finding the target just yet. Wings picks up a kill onto Magnet though, and at the wrong moment, Warden will be unscoping and losing his life to Rizraz. Now Crescent will be contesting with him. Rizraz will be going down, and now a 3v1 situation, a very hard one to pull off, as Aces will be rotating into the side. We'll be finding Shade at the very awkward moment. Now a 2v1 situation. Another flare.
Aces! You're a monster, man. You've only got 1 left here. He's going to turn around for the flashbang, but a full 55 seconds left. So there's plenty of time for both teams to play with.
Yeah, Ace is playing a very patient game, just waiting for the right moment as the push from Crescent might come out very soon. And oh, the nice headshot Woodley finally shutting down Aces as Mindfreak laid the second round into their hands, evening the score out at a very close round, with them nearly losing that point as well.
Yep, and Aces... Honestly, Aces had no business turning that from a 3v1 to a 1v1. But for some reason, Mindfreak, they didn't know where he was. One gets caught out on drone, the other one gets caught solo pushing. So that all leaves it up to Crescent, right? At that point, if you're Crescent, you've got to be pretty annoyed at your team for dying in 2 1v1s and forcing yourself into a third 1v1.
Yeah, that would definitely be a bit of annoyance within the Mindfreak roster, but, I mean, still a good performance. They managed to clutch it out and get it back to a draw. Magnet swapping around between the two SAS operators, and so far not that many surprises really. Mindfreak still keeping all of their operators as it is, and yeah, overall a good turnout.
Virtue leading the kills for Fnatic again. Do you think this maybe might be another big hitter map for him?
Yeah, could very much happen, but on the Mindfreak side we do have Wings, who has been contesting on that and getting also 3 kills, performing quite well on the Ash pushes. Main question being for both of these players, can they continue performing, or is map 1 will be the kind of one moment flick?
5 seconds left.
Fnatic are going to attempt
Attackers
this
have recovered
top
their
floor
diffuser.
bomb site
Attackers'
again.
objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, it definitely nearly worked out for them quite well, fairly well, but at the end the Ash and Thermite were the only ones that weren't well, that haven't been fully shut down. Present continuing to draw up ahead. No congestion just yet on the admin as well, but Warden is already on the case with that cafeteria and break room window in hopes of finding some closure, but not just yet. Now,
Fnatic doing a very similar setup here. If Mindfreak push in a similar way, Fnatic, they're going to know exactly how to deal with it though. Fnatic are a team that learn from their mistakes. So, or they could get aggressive and Lusty could get dropped straight away. You can see Shade being very, very cautious about a flank here.
yeah, he knows that that might happen anytime soon, and that Claymore might not be the good prevention for him as well. Whereas Wings is already making his way up the stairs, so he might have some element of surprise when while pushing that Jaeger, and I don't think Virtue is knowledgeable of that as well. Shade though picks up a nice kill onto Magnet as well. That is the, oh mama, that is the death of Warden that we just witnessed as Virtue completely murders him with that peek. And I just want to say that the main plant denial is down now for Fnatic. The smoke is gone.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, so they will lose that that impact, but so far Magnet died pretty quickly last round as well. As Rizraz is going to find the head of King, Shade's going to drop Virtue with a nice bullet to the temple, and we are now left in a 2v3. Mindfreak still with the man advantage, but Fnatic are in very, very strong positions to cover this off. They know they know where one of them is. They know Shade is out the window. Shade is, of course, very lit as well, so one bullet's going to down him.
Yeah,
as
right
he is
now,
only a one armor up.
right now the only saving grace right now for Mindfreak is that they are closing in fairly slowly onto the defenders, but can they do it quick enough? Because right now the Thermite is nowhere to be seen, and oh wait, no, pardon me, Thermite is on the Visa stairs, but I'm not too sure where Kings is, as the crossfire will need to happen very
Kings
soon.
has rotated back around. I think he's gone to the wrong spot though. I think Mindfreak need to pinch Crescent here. Sorry, not Crescent. Need to pinch Rizraz. There it is. Kings is going to find Rizraz. Ace takes out Crescent though.
15
And
seconds
Shade's
remaining.
been down, so this is another 1v1. And Kings has a slither of health. One bullet. Ace is trying to go for the ITA, but he takes out Shade, so Kings refrags him. He didn't need to kill Shade there. That was just greedy by Aces.
Gotta give the KD though. But nonetheless, a good performance overall. Unfortunate for Mindfreak, still a 1v1 that they did not want to happen. nonetheless.
Yeah, so Mindfreak right there, right? What they should have done is when they realized it was a 2v3, they had the man advantage.
Yeah.
What you need to do in that point is separate the defenders. You need to ensure that wherever you are pushing, you have the man advantage. So they need to isolate and then crossfire and pinch one of the defenders, because the defenders are going to be split. They're not going to hold the same bomb site. They're going to be holding different bomb sites. So you need to work out where they are. You need to work out, all right, how you're going to pinch them, and you need to execute it quickly.
Yeah.
Mindfreak wasted a lot of time when they were just waiting for Kings to sort of rotate back around, and he was taking his sweet time doing it, but they got there eventually. They ended up getting that pinch on Rizraz, but in my opinion, it was a bit too late, and it was more luck, as it wasn't actually a pinch, it was a 1v1 gunfight that Rizraz lost.
Yeah.
So that could have easily have gone to Fnatic, and Aces should, like, the Aces should not have been able to make it a 1 versus 1 when it was actually a 3 versus 1 against him in his favor.
Yeah, and I feel that Rizraz should have just held one of those cheeky points from either the break room or from the admin and just waited for Kings' rotation, because otherwise, yeah, forcing himself in a very unfavorable 1v1 firefight against Kings was definitely not the best idea, but at the same time, maybe it felt a bit rushed as the pressure was on. Warden, come on,
Right, Warden.
you gotta nail those Kobe's. You can do it, man.
That's right. Look, everyone's done it, alright? Everyone's done it. Some more than others. Alright. But, you know,
We've all been there.
getting flashbacks, actually, Warden was the one who naded a camera on this map.
Yes, yes, that also happened as well.
Yes, that was Warden. But, no, so, yeah, I think Mindfreak, very, very strong position. I'm actually surprised that Fnatic...
Oh, there it is. There it is, the
that's
Jaeger.
a nice nade kill.
The
And that's the
Jaeger-
fragger of virtue.
Yeah, and so the Jaeger that usually doesn't worry about the grenades will unfortunately be catching one. And that will be the reign of the big fragger, the newest fragger of Fnatic will be shut down. Warden picking up another kill onto Lusty. Feels that Fnatic are definitely a bit lost on how to approach this, because so far the pushes that Fnatic have been executing were very much one-sided, and we're not showing any promise whatsoever, but so far it feels that maybe Fnatic are just getting overly cheeky and too cocky about how they defend it.
Yeah, well, it seems like their admin side is what's failing them, right? So the push in from Mindfreak, they're not denying the beachhead. They're not fighting against the beachhead, and when they are, they're losing it. So something needs to change along that east side for Fnatic if they're going to continue trying to hold this top floor. At this point, though, I think they need to admit that Mindfreak have the better strategy, and they need to drop away to another bomb site at this point. They've got the whole map to deal with it, so they just need to drop back away, go to another bomb site.
Yeah. But with that in mind, though, we'll be seeing a potential soon push as another, yet again, 4v3 now this time. And Rizraz will be going in for the peak, does get the head onto Warden, will be able to get into a firefight with Wings as well. Will be going in for another one, does take out Crescent as well. 1v3 situation as Rizraz is down, so technically 1v2. All up to Kings to play it out. So, and only 20 seconds left. He needs to get the kills going very soon as the diffuser is down there as well. Can he find the mirror? He does really spot it out, but time is running very low, and
10 seconds remaining.
there's really not a lot to be done by the Thatcher of Mindfreak.
Round's over.
The round is essentially over. 1 second
Stepping
down.
into that group might end of the round. So,
Yeah.
Operators, you have
just as we were saying,
Yeah.
Mindfreak were executing their strats much more, in a much more superior way. They're doing a much better job at pushing that bomb site. Rizraz goes and gets himself a 3k
Yeah.
and puts Fnatic all in the driver's seat.
Yeah. So as soon as that happens, that's essentially GG. Well played. And this time though, Rizraz swapping over to mute and Magnet bringing out Capcan. So we did see Magnet before playing on Capcan, and that was a fairly successful turnout for him. Whereas I think Rizraz might actually be playing, never mind, no, that would be Aces swapping over to Smoke. So no Maestro this time for Rizraz. And no bandit as well
Locate and defuse
for
as many
Fnatic. So
bombs as they
no
can.
no bandit tricking for the breaches, whereas Mindfreak is bringing only one hard breacher.
Yeah, so their goal is not necessarily to deny the entry or to deny the breach of the wall. Their job is to deny the entry to the wall. So they're going to try and so they're going to let them open it up essentially. You know, one EMP and a thermite charge, and that wall is open. After that, their job is to simply just keep them outside.
Yeah, as long as they manage to keep them outside, keep wasting the time, that's where you put Mindfreak at a disadvantage and essentially forcing them to be a bit more reckless on the
5
push.
seconds to insertion.
Which,
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's very, very difficult to deny a breach on that garage.
Objective is to defuse
So
the bomb.
it's a very viable strategy to just say, well, they're more than likely gonna get it open anyway, especially caliber of this team. Let's just let them get them open and let's play to a different strength.
yeah. Give them a slight slither of hope and then just absolutely crush it. Maybe that is the main key point for Fnatic on this playout with Mindfreak, because so far they've been baiting them in a little bit and then just completely wiping them off the face of Earth. Like we did see with Tellers and Archives, they've played it out. They allowed them to go for the plant and then swiftly retaken it once the clock started ticking down.
Yeah, they certainly did. So Mindfreak in, I believe, full control of the map right now. As I believe the whole of the Fnatic squad is in the basement.
Yeah, full control of ground floor and top floor, but Magnet is really in full control as I just noticed. Yeah, 2 players upstairs. Yeah, no control at all of the top floor.
Another one's actually come up into Visa. Shade might be aware of it. Lusty's find Kings. Virtue, he's currently sitting in the tellers. That's going to be a downed and dead Shade. There is a second player there currently. Virtue, he's getting naded. He gets out alive. If that was a cooked nade, that was a dead Virtue. Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't cooked at all, and Virtue manages to get out alive. Crescent, though, is going to find Riz Raz, and that puts the man advantage still with Fnatic.
The issue right now that I'm seeing is that two Mindfreak players are split very far apart from each other, as Warden just now realizes that. But if Crescent right now would have died, that is, well, there's Warden goes, and right now all up to Crescent in a 1v4, this is going to be a massive feature for him to pull off if he manages to clutch this up, because right now he's in the least favorable position. Nobody to cover him, nobody to have a crossfire with him, and yeah, he's just getting sandwiched. Magnet will be getting the final laugh with his with the Spetsnaz SMG, and yeah, right now this is not the way how Mindfreak would have wanted it to work out, and now Fnatic are in the lead, and the last round of the first half, where Fnatic might actually grab another lead, a 2-point lead over Mindfreak, which is going to be a even bigger challenge for Mindfreak to climb out of.
Yeah, at this point, Fnatic is looking very, very strong after they lost that, after they managed to successfully take that top defense. But that round was not very good for Mindfreak. They kept getting caught out in 1v1s, and even when they had the NAN advantage, they were still losing players and not getting refrags. So it was a little bit. Fnatic really outplayed them, and Fnatic really showed the skill gap between them just there.
Yeah. But that said, we back.
The
No,
split?
not really.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. Is it a split? Yeah,
Yep.
it is. Yeah, we're back onto the Archives and Pillars. But this time, Fnatic are setting up a bit of a more of a hold from above once again, and way less more, I believe, reinforcements at the actual site,
Located a bomb.
which
10
tells
seconds to
us
go.
that they're just gonna try to approach it the very same way like they hold the
5 seconds to
console
insertion.
office and meeting, at least in a similar manner.
Yeah, well,
Attackers have
last time,
recovered
you
their
know,
diffuser.
Mindfreak took
Attackers
their
objective
hold
is
by
to
taking
defuse the
control
bomb.
of that admin section and taking control of the visa office downstairs. So that was how they managed to push their way in. They didn't worry about the rest of the map, and then they just planted the bomb and backed out a little bit. So trying to deny the admin office at the top is, I think, the right call for Fnatic here, and I think it's a beautiful strategical adaptation.
Definitely. But the main question right now will be, can Mindfreak read into that, as Fnatic did go for several adjustments on that. I believe one of the Fnatic players is still going for a couple of settings. Virtue tagged up already, just a slight tidbit. And another Ash Charge will be coming in to breach into the break room. And I'm liking this. I'm liking how Mindfreak are currently setting this up. They might be going for a two-front push. Shade already gets the kill onto Magnet. Again, the plan denial is Gonski's in the face of a smoke, but there's still a Pulse that could be playing from below. And what a King as well. Nearly gets the kill as well, but I do believe that there's a reinforced wall in the way. Gordon, though, picks up a kill for Lusty, and now a 3v5 halfway through the round.
Yeah, very, very good round so far by Mindfreak. They're finding their picks, but that being said, they did this in the first round too, and Fnatic still came up big.
Yeah.
So, just a strong performance so far, halfway through the round. Now they're going to start taking control of that first floor, as they have control of the top floor entirely, and then they're going to push on to the teller's office for the plant.
This definitely will be the ideal, since the actual teller's office in the question is definitely very much open, but Rizraz from below might be a big thorn in the backside. Virtue is already rotating back to the hallway, where he could catch a couple of the attackers off guard. Does the cutoff of the rotation. The C4 might be coming out as well. Crescent be tagged out by his teammates. Grenade as well, and Rizraz might be finding something. Crescent is still alive, but the pre-fires will be coming out from Pulse. Will be shutting down Crescent and preventing the plant. Virtue gets the kill onto Shade. Now a 3v3 situation, and 30 seconds still left on the ground. What is happening? How was that allowed? Virtue and Rizraz once again getting the kills for themselves, and now all up to Kings. This completely turned 180 degrees around. In a matter of just several seconds, and just like that, Kings has literally no hold at all on this side, and will need to go for the plant very soon. But Aces with a mirror will be all ready to go, and first half is going in favor of Fnatic now.
Yeah, a 4-2 half for Fnatic. They're going to be very, very happy with that. Fnatic's late flank there really won it for them. It pulled it off. They managed to find multiple kills with it. Fnatic did phenomenally in that round, and Mindfreak, that was theirs to lose. Like,
yeah,
they were in full control there, and they didn't cover off their flanks, they didn't cover off their sides, and they just got picked apart by the Fnatic squad. I think Fnatic are more deadly as a 3-man squad than they are as a 5-man squad. Right, like, next time they go to an international LAN, they should just absolutely
Just pick up 2 randoms from the auditory, and then have the three of their core and just smash it all out.
Yeah, just play as a 3-man core. They don't even need to field the other 2 players. It'll be right.
Yeah.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
But nonetheless, second half starting off with Mindfreak now going on defense. So far it looks like they have fairly simple setup, very standard. Reinforcement on the left side of that wall in the console office, which could mean that they might keep it soft to have some peeking potential from the exit stairs.
Yeah, so that reinforcement on those stairs says to me that they're going to try and attempt to hold this the admin office a little bit more successfully.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse
But
it.
Mindfreak, we'll have to see whether or not they can have as dominant a performance as what Fnatic had. But I think Mindfreak needed to win their defensive rounds. I think their attacking rounds
Drone activated.
for Fnatic are going to be too strong. So I think Mindfreak needed to capitalize on some of those attacking rounds.
Yeah, they certainly do need to capitalize on those the mistakes of Fnatic, get themselves going. But because right now, Fnatic definitely not on the brightest spot with their offense, like we saw on Clubhouse. They were a bit sloppy on the pushes, with Mindfreak still having some aces behind in their up in their sleeve. And Kings will be the first person to be contesting actually against Kings, which could work out pretty well. Another Jaeger device will be up the grenades, which I don't think Fnatic were knowledgeable of.
Yeah, so it's a very strong angle for Kings. He's only got a pixel peak to
Attackers
work
drop
with.
the
But,
diffuser.
oh, Shade with the double C4 kills. Going to drop 2 of the Fnatic players from below. I think that was from below anyway.
No, that was from the site. That was from the meeting room, and Shade picks up another kill onto Magnet as well. The Fnatic push is slowly falling apart as
the ace here.
yeah, could be going an ace if none of the Fnatic players will be picking up any kills. The Logic Bomb will be dropping down, revealing some of the positioning of the defenders, but not really as much info as you would love to know as a Fnatic player. But Rizraz will need to just calm down and wait up his teammate to either rendezvous with him and pick up the diffuser, or just go for a completely opposite push.
Yeah, so they could, you know, all Mindfreak really need to do here, just sit tight, right? Like, they don't need to get aggressive. They don't need to get antsy. They just need to sit tight and let the two-man Fnatic squad come to them. Shade's going to find Rizraz with a nice shotgun shot to the face. And I do had a bit of a technical issue here.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened exactly, but ladies and gentlemen, do not go far away, as we will be back shortly. Stay tuned. 3. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back up and running with the game. 3-5 is the score between Fnatic and Mindfreak in favor of Fnatic, and we are currently seeing a play out on the garage from Mindfreak.
Yeah, very, very interesting go. We did, of course, miss how the last 2 rounds went, so we're not sure how they went, but we know that it went to 1 apiece. But still, Mindfreak in a little bit of a difficult situation as they are slowly being strangled by Fnatic. And Fnatic obviously very, very happy. With a minute left in the round, Fnatic are going to try and extend this timer, run this timer down for as long as they possibly can. And you're seeing Fnatic here holding some very tight vertical angles.
Yes, they are, and the Wings will be getting the first kill on Velocity, which is going to be a very substantial one, outing Jaeger from this current round, as well as Virtue will be going, will be injured, but will be fairly quickly picked up by Magnet, but still nonetheless, that is injured down off the board, whereas a whole Mindfreak never, wow. Didn't, I was just about to say the rest of Mindfreak roster didn't take took minimal damage, but the C4 from below will be shutting down Magnet as well with an excellently performed flick by Crescent. So now a 3v5 could definitely work out in favor of FNC, but just as I say it, Wings will be going down to the hands of Virtue, who has been showing some great promise. 15 seconds left to go, and Fnatic needs to have some very explosive action on the ASAP. Kings will be dying, wow, to a pre-fire from Aces, but Aces will be taking out Virtue as well. The plant will be going down. 3v1 situation, once again putting Aces into a very uncomfortable position as he will be going down to the hands of Crescent. Wooden at the last moment does go. It dies to a Claymore in a very...
I feel sorry for the guy, like, he's just gonna run around, run straight. You know, there's nothing like padding the enemy team's KD.
Yeah.
But, no. Fnatic's biggest problem was definitely them running on a clock, right? They were so... They are so unaware of the clock, it seems, in these rounds, that they're just slowly pushing it back and back and back until eventually they run out of time, right? And they're forced into suboptimal positions. Fnatic is still slipping back into this issue that the recurring issue they have against the clock. It's like it's the 6th man for the other player.
Yeah. Looking at that as well. Initially, Lusty bringing in a Jackal, but deciding to swap out to a Thatcher, having a bit more of a safe option for the breaching. But interestingly enough, Fnatic will be bringing a Thermite. Makes a fair chunk of sense just to be able to remotely open up the hole into the meeting room, which would be quite beneficial for them. Whereas on the Mindfreak side, not really that much of a change so far. They have a fairly stable roster of operators, which they are quite comfortable with, and so far we just saw them perform pretty well.
Well, at the end of the day, all the operators here are exceptionally versatile as well for the Mindfreak lineup, so they can absolutely play anywhere, any position, and do a multiple amount of things as well. They can chop and change things as they need to based on Fnatic's pushes, so I think that it's a very versatile, all-rounded team comp here by the Fnatic lineup.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Fnatic will be making their way once again. This time it's Aces. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that was Aces that missed the
that
throw.
was Rizraz.
Okay. Yeah, Rizraz now on the Fnatic side misses the throw of the drone. Yeah, pulls a Warden. But it's all good. Happens to the best of us. Magnet, meanwhile, will be...
happens to everyone. Like, you just laugh at it because it happens to everyone, right?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Magnet actually nearly went for the push into the bathroom, but just going to open up a window to have some extra attention drawn for Mindfreak. And Admin is fully taking without any contesting of that. Mindfreak could be potentially just luring Fnatic in. But now the main question for Fnatic? Can they keep holding their angles? Because I do believe I just heard a wild magnet trying to rappel down to the ground floor.
Look, wild magnets are the worst. I much prefer the tame ones.
Bomb is located.
When you find a magnet in the wild, it's going to be a bad time. But
Yeah.
Fnatic here, they're attempting to try and push out Shade. Flashbangs are going in. They're going to find nothing. The pings come out. Magnet is repelling on that balcony. Puts a couple of shots down, but he's only hitting the bomb on the marker. So Shade is sitting in a strong position right now, and all he has to do is just sit tight. Virtue's going to nade him, though, as those ADSs are wasted around him. And that's a good pickup. They've got that smoke out. Sorry, they got the mute out of the way. So that's one shotgun gone down, and that leaves us in a 4 versus 5.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kings will be holding a very long angle as well, assisting, I believe... now, Shade is gone, as I was just about to say. But yeah, still will be able to hold a very viable angle, which I don't think Fnatic players will be expecting. Whereas, so far, FNC are pulling a very one-sided push, in my opinion. Like, they could have applied some pressure on the exit stairs and have them pressuring from both sides, but instead, it's a bit of a lost one. Like, yes, there are, here we go, some of the smoke grenades, but Kings manages to pick up a kill into Aces. Lustian picks up a double kill into Wings and Crescent instead, and a 2v4 just like that. This is definitely not the case that
1v4.
Mindfreak won, and there's the kill, yeah, onto Warden. So now all up to Kings. Once again, the maestro of Mindfreak does need to settle some score very quickly, but he's... Yeah.
Why does it always seem like the same players end up in those 1vx situations? But Magnet there, he comes up huge, a massive round for him. And Fnatic are going to slaughter Mindfreak on that top defense.
Yeah. Mindfreak, though, will need to get back on the struggle, as Fnatic already taking the match point round, and will be just 1 round away from taking the 3 points. And the Mindfreak will need to start pushing for another 2 rounds to get themselves at least 1 point. And this is definitely a much less preferable case for Mindfreak players at this very moment.
Blitz being 6 picked off.
I mean, that's expectable.
I think we all saw that coming.
Yeah.
Attackers need to
Lusty is
locate
not one of those players
on
that...
this map.
It's not even that, it's Lusty that hasn't played that much Blitz at all, so him picking Blitz was probably the most odd and the most obvious bait possible for that.
That being said, you don't hide a Thatcher, right? Like, that's just 6 picking for the sake of using the 6 pick, right? Like,
Could be that, yeah.
That's not... I mean, if anything, you hide the Capitao on this lineup, but like... Because, you know, there's not really a point in hiding an Ashe, because if you hide an Ashe, I mean, what are you going to switch it out with, Zofia? Like,
5 seconds left before insertion.
like I don't know, Sledge, you don't exactly hide Sledge, he doesn't bring anything game-changing. So I think that's just 6 pick for the sake of using 6 pick.
Point. Unless Magnet will be once again trying to go for potential solo peek maybe, or just setting up a couple of run-out traps.
That is the Claymore that Magnet died. Ah, sorry, that Warden died too.
Yeah, that's the that infamous Claymore. the Claymore strikes back. Kings try to contest.
Return of the Warden.
Return of the Warden.
So as Fnatic are going to set up their push, we're going to have to see where they're going to come from. It looks like it's going to be... Looks like it's probably going to be an East push again, as they are already in the admin office.
Yeah. Once again, I'm a bit confused why is Mindfreak completely letting Fnatic take the full control of admin, because it can be used as a fantastic foothold to keep holding and delaying the time if you even have just 1 player, because that would force Fnatic to go for usage of utility 1 and 2 usage of their manpower, while you have the rest of the squad just rotating around and attempting to help that 1 person holding the admin, because so far Fnatic has been going for one-dimensional pushes. So whenever you see heat coming from Fnatic, Just go there and you'll find the rest of the squad.
Yeah, but I mean, the other option is you've put what 4 potential entry points down to 2. So if they have control of east side, there's only 2 ways they can come through there. So it becomes plus what a third from the balcony. So you can absolutely, it becomes easier to choke Fnatic, right? It becomes easier to set up those crossfires. But Shade is slowly being pushed in from this downstairs section. That's Rizraz getting aggressive. He finds the kill. There was the second player down there, but the refrag does not come out. Those Mindfreak refrags are going to have to wait for now. Magnet finds Kings as well, and that puts it in a 5v3 as this Mindfreak lineup is slowly getting dismantled.
How are those 2 kills allowed? Because King's dying to that point, like, it's obvious that the window is already open. The call-out has been done. How does one miss this? Like on Shady, yes, he was just being actively drawn and he decided to take the firefight. But this one on Kings was a bit of a... I don't know, man. Like, not pro league level. Like, that is...
Kings did not need to push what he pushed.
Yes.
Right? Like, he got aggressive for really no reason. He paid for his life. Wouldn't come around on a flank, though. Finds one. Loses the gunfight to Rizraz, though, as Rizraz is actually drop shot him. Present takes out Lusty, but the plant has gone down. Wings has been downed as well. He should be able to get picked up here as Crescent is on a slither of health, and this is going to be a 2v3 retake. They don't have the time to reset Crescent, and so, with just a breath away from death, they're going to push their way in. Magnet is in a power position right now, and he's got someone else with him. I can't quite see who that is. It is going to be Aces, so Rizraz is the wild card on this hold. And he's going to find one, that's Crescent. That could have been shots anywhere, and that's only going to leave it in Wings' problem. He's going to run out. Aces on the flank is going to take him out, and that is a 2-map win over to Fnatic.
Yeah, and a very confident performance at the end from Fnatic as they managed to take both of those maps at the end fairly swiftly. And unfortunately for Mindfreak, they will be gaining no points whatsoever, putting them to 2 losses so far for this season.
Rizraz with 13 kills. He did really well.
Yeah.
Shay got himself to double digits too. So great performance from both of them.
Overall, a good performance. I'd even say, all things considered, even though that Mindfreak got 2-0'd in this matchup, I do have to say that it was still a formidable performance from Mindfreak. They versed the big giants in the face of Fnatic, and still managed to show some good prowess, some good playouts. It's just they didn't have enough either endgame dependency or some of the mistakes that they've made were a bit questionable, and I feel that's what brought the demise to them.
Yeah, I think Mindfreak played very, very well, and they should be happy with the performance they walked away with. Or they should at least, you know, hold their head up high walking away from this. Their first game was arguably against the best team, and so putting up 2 7-4s is very, very good. They should be very happy with themselves, and I think they probably learned a lot from that game, or at least they should have learned a lot from that game. Their defenses were a lot better than their attacks.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that can't be mistaken. They won a lot more of their defenses than they did offenses across the 2 maps, but ultimately, you know, they lose both maps 7-4, so they unfortunately don't get any of the points. But Fnatic are going to be very, very happy. They end their first Super Week with 12 points?
Yeah,
in the
12
bag?
points.
Yeah, so, you know, 4 map victories, 12 points. They're off to a flying start to the season, and this is the difference that Fnatic wanted in this season compared to Season 8.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a much more confident performance for them at the start of this season rather than the Season 8. And just in general, yeah, were a couple of sloppy points, but they haven't dropped the map, so that's overall a good...
Yeah, they've got to be very, very happy with themselves. But, that being said, Mindfreak, they did show some sort of lies. They also had problems, though, right? You know, Shade got caught out a lot. right? Shade was the
Yeah.
first one to die multiple times. He fragged out very, very well in the rounds he stayed alive, but he died very quickly. Warden, I felt like, died very quickly as well. A bit unnecessarily, but yeah, I think all in all, though, those problems can easily be worked on for Mindfreak. So we should have a very strong season from them.
Yeah, indeed. But now that the Mindfreak and Fnatic game is all and over, let's talk about the Oddity and Lowkey as we are currently setting them up for the game. Lowkey Esports yesterday didn't show really... well, they didn't manage to get any map off Fnatic, even though they showed a good showcase, whereas Oddity ended up pulling apart Taboo on their matchup. So how do you think we will be seeing a turnout this one?
I think all in all, Oddity looks stronger than Lowkey. Lowkey, again, their first matchup was against the absolute behemoths that is Fnatic, and that's a daunting task for your first matchup. But I think Oddity and Taboo was such a great match to watch yesterday that when Oddity did pull out the win, it felt very, very deserved, and I think Oddity are definitely going to be able to put up a stronger showing than Lowkey here tonight.
Yeah, but I am though curious, would Lowkey be able to take a map though of Oddity? Because Oddity, as before they were class of 2018, managed to get their, I believe, top 4 spot in the previous season, whereas Lowkey, which I believe were ex-Crimson, didn't really have a lot points behind them, and so it's definitely going to be very much tilted in favor of Oddity. But seeing as how they played yesterday, I do have a slight faith that they might actually take one of the maps away from Oddity.
Yeah, well, again, that depends on what maps we end up getting. But I also think that falls back to the fallacy of Fnatic's failing to prepare properly for teams that they don't deem a threat. Like, Fnatic would have prepared a lot more for the matchup tonight than the matchup against Lowkey last night. So I think that either way, Fnatic could definitely have played themselves there a little bit as well, though.
With that, yeah.
But all in all, though, I think Oddity is going to be a much stronger team tonight, and I think we're going to see them pick up the W for both games.
For both games, okay. Okay, I might actually agree with you on that, as even no matter how much both of us love a good underdog story, I don't think that might be the case tonight on the second Playday of this season, Flea.
Yep. No, I do love myself a good underdog story, but yeah, unfortunately, no, I'm going to have to back Oddity here. I think they are stronger than when they were class of 2018. I think they are their new lineups and the new addition has made the team much stronger. So I think we may even potentially see a push for third and second place out of this squad for this season.
Ooh, okay, that's a spicy prediction. And talk about the maps, because I just managed to get them. So we will be seeing on the map 1 will be Bank with Oddity going on attack, and then second map will be Clubhouse with Oddity also on attack. And
yeah, it's interesting to see that, you know, Oddity attacking both maps. So I wonder if that was a coin flip win for both of them.
Yes, both of them are. Well, Oddity won the coin flip, and yeah, they still decided to go on attack, which either shows that they are fully prepped for the for their offense to start it off, or they just maybe not considering Lowkey as much of a threat, so they saying, yeah, we can just get at least several rounds behind our belts on the attack and then just completely smash it out on defense, because Bank, as it is, does feel to me on at least several sides a bit more defender-sided. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it certainly has seemed that way recently from what we've seen, particularly coming off the APAC qualifier for Montreal, with defense-favored showing for Bank. So, especially going into Bank, you'd normally want to put defense first on Bank if you want to put the side that you feel is stronger on a particular map first, right? Because you want to
Yeah.
get those easy wins so you can go in with a mental advantage into the second half. That's the sole point. So to see Oddity choosing to attack first on Bank means that they either have something special planned,
Mm-hmm.
they have an idea of what they want to do, or else they don't believe the map is as defense favored as what we've seen in recent trends.
All right. What about Clubhouse? Because Clubhouse boasts a slightly different playstyle now. Well, the current with the current meta, with it allowing the much more flexible roaming compared to its previous iteration. Do you reckon we will be seeing a very flexible push from Oddity on the first half, or kind of similar approach how we might see it on Bank?
You sort of need to see a flexible attack no matter what map you're on, but Clubhouse in particular has a number of ways you can push sites and a number of options for you to push site no matter what composition you bring, right? Unless you lose all your hard breach, Clubhouse is a very pinch heavy map for the attackers, and that's the goal for the attackers, is to pinch the defenders. That's pretty much what they want to do. So I think on Clubhouse, attacking first is a strong option, even though the map tends to be traditionally defense sided. Even at the APAC qualifiers for the Invitational, we saw it as a very defense sided map there as well. So I think that choosing to attack first, if Oddity are comfortable on the attack, they can definitely pull something out.
All right. Well, for now, we will need, unfortunately, to throw over to a little bit of a break as we are setting up the lobby, but we won't be too far away, ladies and gentlemen, as we will come back to match number 2 between Oddity and Lowkey Esports in a little bit. Stay tuned. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. As we are back to just about to start up with our matchup between Lowkey Esports and Oddity. My name is Cthulhu, and I'm yet again joined by the one and only Amfley. How you going, mate?
I'm going very well, Cthulhu. I am actually pumped for this one. I think this is going to be a brilliant matchup. I think this is going to be a very tight matchup. So I think, you know, anything could happen. So we just got to wait and see. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell, indeed. And just to get a quick recap for everyone, the first map that we'll be seeing is Bank and then Clubhouse. Both of the maps already will be on attack for the first half. And what do you think? I want to ask you about the prediction for the scoreline for both of the maps. How do you feel this will go out?
Oh, look, I feel very comfortable calling a 2-0 victory for Oddity. Or not really a 2-0, calling a victory for both maps, right?
Okay.
For Oddity. The scoreline, I think, is actually going to be rather close. So I'm expecting something like a 7-5 and 8-6. Something like that. I think it's going to be close or maybe even overtime. But I think ultimately, I think Oddity will come out the victor.
Okay. Okay, so 7-5 for both maps. Alright. I'd say we might see something similar to a 7-3 actually on Bank, and maybe a 7
That's a strong prediction, Cthulhu.
Yeah, but hey, at least one of us needs to go for the strong predictions. Nonetheless, we will be transferring over to the game screen and see how that will play out as the ban phase will be on. And
Lowkey is going to be banning first here.
Yeah.
We've traditionally seen some very quick bans, and there it is as well. Another very quick ban coming out. It is going to be the Monty. That is
okay.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, we saw
Oddity not wasting any time either.
I mean, we saw plenty of Monty plays yesterday, so no wonder in all honesty. And Jackal banning, that is just to showcase
I really
that.
like it.
Yeah.
I think Jackal is an absolute must-have on this map. So I think that taking him away is a very, very strong idea.
Yeah, but slightly a shot in the foot for Oddity, since they're going to be the first ones to attack. Maestro banning out, as well as his cameras, especially on CCTV and lockers, is a very strong leverage for the defenders. And mirror ban,
well, Echo gets
simple.
through.
Yeah, Echo gets through, so there's going to be plenty of info gathering.
Which is funny, because I think that Echo is actually a stronger operator than Mirror on this map.
I wouldn't be comparing them per se.
Mirror is useful, don't get me wrong, and she's an absolute must-have for CEO. So it's gonna hurt Lowkey not having Mirror on this upstairs CEO defense, but I think overall, Echo has a much stronger impact across the map.
Oh yeah, he certainly does, but I wouldn't really be comparing Echo to a Mirror, as they have slightly different roles in my opinion. With Mirror being able to just reinforce the anchoring position, whereas Echo is very much a flexible op. You can have him just sitting on the Echo drones and enabling the roamers. You can have him roaming as it is and using the Echo drones as the mobile Valcams. So there's plenty of roll around for him to go, and since he was allowed in this matchup.
Is that all 3 castles used on the front windows?
Yes. Certainly does look that way, and that just shows that LK wanna completely reinforce and use this reception desk as the extra leverage for their defense. Actually, no, one of the windows got the standard reinforcement, but under a certain angle, it's very much of a...
Yeah, it's interesting. So they're obviously very scared of that Glaz and the repel they're going to have from that north side. Well, from the west side, really. But it's, you know, interesting strategy to see. Normally when you see castle, you've got the janitors is going to be castled off. But I actually really like having all the castles being on that rounded window.
Yeah. But now I'm rather curious how will Oddity approach that, because they don't really have anything to counter these castles. They don't have a Hibana. I mean, they don't have a Sophia. They only have Hibana to do any of that flexible breaching, and they don't have a Glitch to full on do it.
The interesting thing out about the lineup here from Lowkey is they don't have any entry denial. So no mute, no bandit. So they're just literally going to walk up, thermite the wall, right? And it's up to Bundy to attempt to impact trick it, and that's if he's even carrying impacts. And he's getting pushed by God Legion, something chronic. Muesli could potentially get around the other side to help with the impact, but God Legion's going to nail Bundy, as Vinny is actually going to end up opening the wall. And now the bomb site is completely cracked here for Oddity. They're in the complete driver's seat. Nothing is going to stop them from entering. If Vinny's going to nail the head of Casper there, he's going to drop that. There's another one on the side of that bookshelf. Vinny takes a couple of shots but doesn't land anything. And Oddity are just slowly but surely dismantling this Lowkey lineup.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused how come did Lowkey decide to not bring anything similar to a mute or a bandit, but Dabs meanwhile does take apart JCZ as well, and Muesli will be down to the hand of Fast.
That's it. We're all up to Mangoes.
Yeah, all up to Mangoes. The dock with the ACOG. I'm a bit dubious about the turnout in his favor in that regard, as the plant also did go down, so Oddity Esports have that behind them as well, and there's the two-man peak at that spot right now, and honestly Mangoes doesn't have any ground whatsoever to go for the push. He does go for a pre-fire, takes out God Legion, tries to get into a firefight with the Thatcher, but no avail just yet, low on health, and still has plenty of steam shots, but Dabs will be swift in finishing off Mangoes, and the first round goes very quickly into the hands of Oddity Esports, as it just felt like they were not prepped for that push through those walls.
That was a very, very strong push from Oddity. No denial, no entry denial coming out of the Lowkey lineup hurt them a lot. And as soon as they popped open that thermite wall, Oddity just had free reign on the lineup. I think that I really think that Lowkey
Attackers need to locate
weren't prepared to be open to properly defend that bomb site. And you can see here they're going to go basement after that whooping. So they're going to cut their losses, say, alright guys, we're obviously not as strong on that side as we thought we were. Let's go downstairs instead.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Yeah, downstairs defense might be a bit more of a safe choice for LK as... Ooh, that is a nice Valcam as well, surely.
Well, I actually think they've both been nice Valcams so far. We'll have to see where the third one goes.
Yeah, I kind of missed the very first one, unfortunately. But nonetheless, Todd will be able to see Mangoes playing on Pulse as well. And I'd say at this point, Mangoes needs to just fall back to those service stairs, because they managed, I believe that was them playing against Fnatic when they had a clash versus Clash and Pulse on the service stairs. But nonetheless, Bundy will be holding an angle in the lockers room, and God Legion will be going in for just a box standard clear out of the top floor first at the east skylight, and get himself going.
Is in a very good spot.
Yeah, Drone is in a perfectly good spot, and I don't think Oddity will be going for a full-on... there will be, yeah, for a one-man clear on the top floor, but that won't be the case, as LK are just all on the all and around the objective.
Oh, that cam, that's the first cam that he just shot there.
Yeah.
On that stairs. I actually thought that was a really nice cam, but God Legion, unfortunately walking around with his, 3DS and finding everything right there.
Yeah, meanwhile, while God Legion was clearing out all the cameras at the main stairs, Todd was popping open the hatches ready for the push, and that is a good turnout so far for Oddity's push out. They already halfway through the round managed to open up all the needed hatches and have them ready to go. Not a single frag just yet, but I'm sure that is going to change very soon, as that Valkyrie pushing up is a bit close for the liking. Never mind, that's not a Valkyrie, that's a wild Jaeger in face of JCZ.
Yeah, JCZ really trying to get aggressive here, trying to see if he can find something. God Legion, though, not giving him anything as Todd goes back to a safer spot to drone out for his teammate. And Muesli, though, he could very much be in support of JCZ if something goes south for him. Oddity gaining more and more information, however, they have not made a lot of headway.
Yeah, plenty of information. But
they're almost ready for this final push. There's no exothermic charge for that final wall, so they're going to go do a different plan here. They're not planting in the normal spot behind the desk, and they're going to try and hold the angles out.
Yeah, and it does seem to work out quite well.
A successful plant, and now Shabs is going to be the main person on defense in the very back corner with the thermal scope. Todd finds the first kill onto JCZ, removes his head. He's just going to be watching the side as he gets the second one as Muesli tries to get a flank, so that idea is off the table. Casper trades him straight back, but Gold Legion gets him straight back as well. Are they just going to keep funneling up these stairs?
Certainly, it seems that way. As 4 people died to those stairs, you can just see the whole graveyard at that staircase, with only one person deciding to head on, try to tackle the rest of Oddity's squad. And that is it for the second round, as Lowkey seeming to be a bit lost on how to counter any of the plays. And I'm a bit curious, why wasn't that C4 thrown out earlier while Vinny was planning?
Yeah, it was definitely a mistake. I think they thought maybe the smoke would get it, because the smoke was covering the desk where it normally went. So I think that they thought the plant was going down there. They weren't quite prepared for the plant to go down in a different spot. That was fantastic mind games by Oddity there, managing to pull out exactly what they needed and waste the resources that they needed to be able to get that plant down. Now moving to Teller's office and archives, Lowkey just going around the world here. If they lose this one, are they going to go to open?
It could be, but I think with open they might have at least the element of surprise against Oddity, as I don't think Oddity would be also expecting it. Because so far, Lowkey has been playing the sites that they are fairly comfortable with, whereas one area wouldn't be something that be within the meta.
10 seconds left.
No, it wouldn't, but like...
5 seconds left.
I don't know, I think Lowkey should have stuck to the basement for this one around. I think they should have definitely attempted it.
Attackers are moving out.
They had, to be fair, they had the right idea. It was just, it was just their own execution that failed them, right? Like, not throwing that C4, presuming the plant, so the smoke was in the wrong spot. If you throw the smoke grenade properly, it can land to cover both of those plant spots, right? So they needed to throw the smoke grenade in the proper place, C4 to be able to stop that plant as well. And then not all funnel up the center stairs, right? Like, they just funneled up the main stairs and just got mowed down by God and Todd. Like, so I think if they changed those two things, they definitely could have held that attack off from Oddity.
Certainly. And yeah, like you mentioned, not funneling through that one choke point to try to clear out that one roam clearer is definitely not the way to go. But this time they bring it in a interesting setup, being that the doors into one into the hallway towards the open area, one towards the teller's office will be completely castled out, and have an open door from the actual office. Teller's office into the teller's desk. So that could work out if they manage to bait Oddity in to funnel them, but Todd already spots the rotation hole, so if Oddity does decide to take it from either below or above, they'll have the perfect case to shut off that. Wow, God Legion still committed to getting that, just hitting the beams. Does manage to tag up Bundy.
He tagged him. He did tag him.
Yeah.
So Bundy is now off his camera and he has started moving. Unfortunate for God Legion, they're just hitting that beam a couple of times. But that rotate hole to me says that there's someone in open area, right? That's what that rotate hole is for. You cover it off from rotated main stairs. Shabs actually just walks straight onto site. Down one, down another.
Wow.
Shabs has taken complete control of site here as Casper's doing what he can. He's trying to shut down fast. but Shabs is in full control of the site.
What is happening? And Vinny is already on the case. Todd managed to cut out that rotation, and JCZ is nearly, well, will be going down as he is down now. All up to Casper to try to clutch the sub, but the side already once again has been going down. 1v3 situation. This is not looking particularly well right now for the Lowkey esports player, as Castle Barricade is there. Yep, that's the only spot, and he did shoot himself in the foot. Todd down.
Yeah, hindered by his own castle barricades. So now they know where they're funneling from. This is technically a 1v1, it's 1v2. He could pick up his teammate if he wanted. He's just trying to check all the spots. God Legion gets the kill credit for JZZ. He finally sees the diffuser now. Made sure that no one else is around it, but God Legion's standing there waiting. He's going to take out Casper, and Oddity make it a 3-0 in what I can only describe as the oddest defense by Lowkey I think I've seen in a while.
Yeah,
right?
it
Like,
was...
the strategy was there.
Yeah, strategy was there, but
You
the
could
approach...
see what they wanted to do, but the execution was so poor.
Yeah. With that in mind, Oddity will be taking 3 rounds of Lowkey on bank, them attacking, which is a good turnout for Oddity and not the brightest playout for Lowkey esports, as they rotating back to the executive lounge and CEO office hold, for them bringing this time an echo for themselves. So more info gathering, but still no breach
entry
denial. Yeah.
I
Defenders, protect your
think this
bombs
is going to
from
play
being
out very
used by
similar to what the
attackers.
first round played out as. They can't impact trick. They can't impact trick that wall.
Bomb located by attackers.
They'll be pinched by the window. They need to get the kill on the window. So they need to get the kill on the person rappelling on the window. Last time it was God Legion. I'm going to presume it's going to be God Legion again. But I don't see, from what we've seen so far, I don't think Lowkey are going to be able to successfully make that adaptation.
Yeah, it certainly didn't look nice on the first round. It doesn't seem to be like there's going to be much of a change in this round. But at the same time, I'm just curious how will their Echo execute the plays, because look at this. Even I believe the wall in the meeting room is not reinforced at all. So if the attackers decide to go for a couple of pre-fires through that wall from the parking lot, they might actually be able to score a couple of heads.
Yeah, that will be scary, but for as now, it seems like Oddity are lining up to get a very quick open on this wall, because they've already moved their way in. They're not scared of their flank at all, playing more just for safety, but I think that's about it. God Legion has spotted out one of the Yokais. There's no one in lobby ready for a flank just yet. Bundy on this alibi, I really want to see...
Ooh,
oh, Mangoes! He gets that flank. That's that pick that I was talking about earlier. Mangoes lands the head, and that's that IQ off the board now.
Yeah, so now that Oddity don't have any way to contest the windows, that might turn their push into a very one-sided push, which could be potentially considered to be a win-win. But right now, Mango's picking up another kill onto Odd.
This is what Lowkey needed. This is what Lowkey needed. So, very, very good play by Mango so far. Very good flank. What this allows is complete freedom in the bomb site. So when you rappel on those windows, it essentially stops the defenders from being able to move, right? Which is what they want. Oddity's going to try and open this side again. I don't think it's going to happen. Holding off on the impacts just yet. Flashbang doing nothing. Bundy got some good reaction speeds, although he can't hear where it's happening. And he didn't manage to get it. So my charge does go off. They now have it open. So now it is up to Shabs and the rest of this Oddity lineup to start getting these picks. That Banana Vision finding nothing through the smoke just yet. There is someone there on the other side. He's going to walk his way in. He hears the shot get missed. Shabs misses his own. He's going to be down. That's 2 Oddity members being dropped as JZZ picks up the other one. Vinny's made his way in though. He's got a one-man army. He's 1v5. He's found 1 kill. He's got another 4 to go. Doesn't manage to get it as JZZ is going to shut him down.
JZZ managing to finally get that closure at the end. Does brand Lowkey Esports with one round, so now it's 2 more rounds for them to even it out on the first half, which I think they still have.
Yeah. All right, so they're going around the world. No,
Yeah.
they're not. I'm just getting baited a little bit. I'm just getting baited a little bit. So I think that comes down to potentially some hubris from the Oddity lineup. They had no one covering God Legion.
Yeah.
Right? So Todd was on car park,
Mhm.
but he wasn't in a spot to actually cover God Legion off. He wasn't in a spot to cover off the rotate into the lobby. So Oddity, whether it was laziness, whether it was hubris, arrogance, whatever you want to call it, it enables Lowkey to pick up a round.
Yeah.
And God Legion's doing so well. 5 kills apiece.
Dab's only following up on 4 kills, whereas from Lowkey Esports, we have Musa and Bundy still sitting on a donut with Casper, JC, and Mangoes doing all the work. And I have to say that that play out by Mangoes in the previous round was, I'd say, a deal breaker.
Yeah, it's what allowed them to win that round. He picked up God Legion on the window, but then picked up Todd, whose sole purpose in that spot was to kill the retreating Mangoes.
Yeah.
Right, and he failed to do it. So Mangoes definitely making the difference in that round for Lowkey.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
But
attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
I think that'll be a bit of a wake-up call for Oddity. I think they're gonna probably take it a bit more seriously, or not get so relaxed on their pushes.
Yeah, they definitely, Oddity, even though that they have the advantage within some of the firefights or some of the plays, definitely need to be much more careful with their approaches, due to the fact that Lowkey just showed that they are able to adjust to some of the plays if Oddity will be continuing with the very same approach. So right now, we are seeing God Legion just pushing and clearing up top. Casper revealing his positioning around the open area, which is a good idea to play from, but to an open spot right now, and the hatch will be going down, and there's going to be plenty of space for the attackers to go for a push from.
Yeah, there's a lot of rotates though for Lowkey as well. God Legion's actually going to find Casper with a pistol. I think that was probably through the floor.
Yep.
As he probably activated his ability. He activated that, his invisibility, and yeah, IQ is going to make him pay for that through the floor. So that's a very nice pickup by God Legion.
Bomb
But
located by attackers.
it's not exactly what you want as a visual player, but Oddity, you can see here, taking this a lot slower this time, setting up properly, making sure they drone out, making sure they keep track of all the players out of Lowkey.
Yeah, with I don't mind, Vinny is already that close to the objective, all ready to blast off the walls, and I don't think anyone will be even contesting them. So as soon as Vinny will have some more people behind him and ready to go, I think the wall will be blasted open. Magnos will be trading out Shabs and getting God Legion as well. Nicely done, but Vast will be able to trade out JCZ, I believe, and Magos will be getting the better of Vast. So now a 2v2 with 44 seconds on the clock. The wall will just be breached. 2 hard breaches good to go, and oh my lord, Mangoes, the actual flick god, be taken out Todd. All up to Vinny to try to clutch this up. 2v1 situation, and right now does need to nail the shots. He does find Bundy, but Mangoes managed to secure once again the kill onto Vinny. Nicely done by him, as Lowkey score yet another point for themselves in this first half.
Again, that win was off the back of Mangoes, right?
Yes.
Both of Lowkey's victories have been off the back of Mangoes, right? A single person is really making it work. If Todd had come around that corner a bit slower, if he'd come around the corner ADS and potentially aware of Mangoes' position, then
That would have been a different round.
Right, that round would have gone to Oddity. But as it is, Mangoes coming up huge for the Lowkey lineup, and currently putting most of Oddity in the grave.
Yeah, and I do have to point out that flick again after the flashbang was thrown, and right before it exploded, he managed to pick up a headshot on Todd, which was bit unexpected, as I felt Todd also potatoed in on reaction there as well. But nonetheless, still a point advantage by Oddity over Lowkey East, as there's still plenty of work to be done. At this time, a setup.
They're still around behind.
Yeah, they're still around behind, and we'll be going for a setup in the Walker's Instance TV.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, so they got absolutely dismantled on this bomb site last time. But that being said, we can say that for all 3 bomb sites they've played so far, right? So the first attempt they got dismantled. Second attempt seems to work for them. We'll have to see how this goes, but they're making some. They are making some differences in their setup. So we'll have to see whether or not it plays out, and whether or not Oddity are actually going to be able to change their attack, because it seems like they're doing the same thing, right? They've done the same attack on every repeat bomb site, but it seems to me that Lowkey are adapting to Oddity, and Oddity aren't changing. Hopefully Oddity have realized this, and they will be able to, you know, make their own adaptations, be able to do something different, and actually be able to win the round.
Oddity has a good idea about how they play it out, because they keep the rotation spots clear, they go for a push, they have a glass covering the planner, so apart from Lowkey needing to throw in the explosives a bit earlier and not funnel themselves through that staircase, that's the whole difference that can be made, really.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes, whether or not they even plant off this time, or whether or not their different plant spot actually work. Right, the C4 could come out, change it, the gas grenade could be placed better and change the outcome of it. It looks like they might actually go for to open up both walls here. Yeah, Vinny's going to open up both walls and threaten both walls as a plant spot.
Yeah, both of them can be used pretty well, especially with Glass still around and ready to smoke out. So he could definitely be quite a beneficial tool in this shed right now for Oddity. And potentially the key for their push. Boss going for a very ballsy push out. But the C4 is actually being prepped by Casper, so anytime that sound of, oh my lord, of sound of planner will be going down, that's when... Did I just see an AMP grenade disable that C4 mid throw?
Maybe. Actually, I don't know if the C4 was thrown. I missed that. But either way, it looks like things are starting to happen. Vinny is starting to threaten the plant. The gas grenade's coming out. God Legion gets the first kill. The plant is now coming down. The gas grenade has not stopped it. They come through. That's another shot by Shabs. Vinny has been tagged, but they're not assured that he is there. He does manage to get the plant back out. Shabs has been put below half health and amongst all that, and Vinny's been tagged as well. Casper just feeds himself to Shabs as Todd picks up a one himself. And that leaves us in a 2 versus 5. Vinny gets a fantastic shot into the back of Bundy, and Vast is going to finish it up. Oddity come out with the round win.
Yeah, so that is the first half over and done with. Very good turnout for Oddity, all things considered, as they do have the point advantage, 2-point advantage for that matter. And yeah, right now, yeah, going to be put at an even bigger disadvantage, since they are going to be attacking Gabs, the absolute troll himself. Will be bringing out Kavera for the first pick, but
let's not forget,
yeah,
Shabs has an ace on Kavera on Bank, and I believe it was against Fnatic.
Fair enough, but that will be a 6th pick onto a Bandit, though, with a bit more utility, you could say.
What are you talking about? 5 interrogations, plenty of utility.
5 wall hacks for several seconds.
Yeah, Bandit a bit more useful.
Yeah. But nonetheless, this time already knowing that there will be both of the hard breaches that are not banned at all, they will be bringing out the both Mute and Bandit to be able to delay the breach for as long as possible. I quite highly doubt that there will be any Bandit tricking, for that matter, but at the very least there will be some utility used up to get rid of all of that.
Ready. 5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, they're definitely getting ready to be able to deal with
Attackers
whatever
recover the diffuser. Attackers
gets
objective
thrown
is
at them,
to defuse
but
the bomb.
Oddity making some interesting rotates here. I think Oddity are very scared of the garage push. Just judging by their setup, I think they're a little bit worried about how the garage is going to push through. But that being said, Lowkey just seemed to be doing a very standard top-down take, which to me... Oh! Jeez!
Casper's head nearly flew off his shoulders as Muesli is thanking either the netcode or his internet connection that it didn't connect with IQ's head.
Yeah, I think that was more luck than anything that Casper lived. So, no, that would not have been a good way to start off their attacking half.
Not at all, but interestingly enough, Lowkey Esports are taking it a bit slower this time on the push toward the server stairs. Glaz's rifle to open up a couple of floor holes, get some insight, but the server stairs will be completely uncontested, and same as server itself. With the rest of the squad just hanging around the objective, overlooking into B side.
Yeah, you can see here, Muesli on this Glad using the Lethal Citizen skin, and oh! He gets lucky the first time, he doesn't get lucky the second time, and that is the thermite being dropped too. None of these doors are open. Lowkey not in a good spot right now.
That is quite unfortunate.
Muesli, you almost shot someone once, you actually shoot someone a second.
Yeah, unfortunately, Muesli had one job.
No, look, this is communication issues, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is impatience, communication issues, and honestly taking unnecessary risks, right? As Bundy, you do not run in front of your teammate.
Here's another thing. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to point out that the only hard breach now that they have is trying to go for a one-man crusade on the other side.
Yeah, well, chances are is Mangos has already used his. Oh wow. Okay, Muesli's going to take out Vast as they're landing through. Shaps gets the C4 kill and Casper. Mangos finds one, but Vinny comes up with a C4 kill. Todd and another C4 kill to finish it off for Oddity, as that came through thick and fast as the clock started to wind down.
That is.
But what I was saying before, you know, the team so really decided to start shooting, is that chances are is that Hibana had used all 3 of her charges on the hatches, right? Like, chances are is at this point she was already out of the hatch. So if her utility had been already used, she was probably better off going for a flank anyway than trying to open that wall. At most, she probably only had one Hibana charge, one of the X-Kairos charges left, which ultimately would have been useful at them trying to push their way in anyway.
True. Interestingly enough, now Mangoes will be swapping over from Hibana to a Buck to enable a little bit more of the soft breach, whereas now Oddity will be facing only one hard breacher, and not bringing any breacher now this time for the Tellers and Archives hold.
Yeah, well, again, as long as Bundy doesn't get TK'd again, you should be able to get the thermite charges off. Again, as you said, no denial, a lot less impact on the reinforcements this time around. So, you know, with the way you set up Teller's office and archives and all the rotates and everything that you have, it's, you know, you always have an action to get back into site, so you don't necessarily need the hard breach as well. So I think swapping off from the Buck is probably a good use of the 6th pick, as Buck is going to be able to decimate this top floor floor, and they're going to be able to get picks.
Yeah. The bigger question now, can Lowkey through all of that defense that already currently set up for the top floor defense as well as the ground floor, because we did see some major reinforcements and utility usage on around the stock room as well as the CEO office. So I definitely think this will be a hard feat to pull off in general for LK. But if they manage to take control of the top 4, they will definitely be at a big advantage.
Yeah, they just need to hold the top, but Todd finds the opening frag onto Casper, puts his head off his shoulders, and they're going to have to now fight from a one-man disadvantage.
Yeah. Well, Mangoes will be moving up into the janitorial closet. All of the Oddity members have actually defaulted back to the ground floor, but oh, the C4, just as I said about default.
Yep, that's a there's a cam up there for sure, guys.
Yeah, not having a IQ check the top floor is definitely going to hinder quite substantially, and also losing Buck is not going to help you at all.
Yep. As well as losing Mangoes, who has been the shining light for the Lowkey side so far. So losing him, as well as losing the utility of Buck, is really going to hurt. Vast gets a beautiful shot onto the head of Muesli right there. That would have been pixels wide. So that's a great shot. In a 2v5, where not a lick of damage has been dealt to the Oddity lineup.
And none at all indeed, and right now Lowkey members are low-key a bit lost.
I think they're high-key a bit lost for what to do right now. Shabs is getting prepared to jump over the railing. They know they're both on the side of tellers. Here he goes. He drops down. He manages to find one. God Legion finishes off the other. And Oddity take a flawless round.
That was a kill box that Oddity ended up setting up at the end. That was...
Yeah, look, there was four. There was 4 of them.
That was 4 of them. The full onslaught of Oddity.
Yeah, there was no way that Lowkey were living through that kill zone that they just set up.
But nonetheless, now Oddity putting themselves at a match point with only 2 rounds allowed for Lowkey East to take. So far, this is not a good turnout for LK. Oh.
No, Lowkey are getting dismantled here little bit by little bit.
Yeah, and so far it doesn't look like the Oddity train is planning to stop anytime soon.
No, they're going to be very happy with themselves. I know Oddity like to get in and watch their matches. Like the org likes to get in, or the support team likes to get in and watch their own matches. But God Legion on 10 frags, he's doing really, really well for himself. And again, Mango's the shining light of the Lowkey lineup. It really is coming off the back of him. The Lowkey resistance right now is really coming off the back of Mango's shoulders.
Is definite indeed. But I'm a bit curious how will that castle be utilized, because so far we've seen castle mainly just completely castle off those windows, and once again we'll be seeing that very same thing, but this time from Oddity's side.
5 seconds
and
to go.
I still think that that's not exactly the best choice
Attackers recovered the bomb
for
diffuser.
using
Attackers
that
must locate and
utility.
defuse the bomb.
Well, it depends on what you're worried about, right? Like, if you want to stop people pushing, there are better places to put them. If you just want to stop people having angles on you, that is a great spot to have them, right? Because it basically blocks off the entirety of anyone repelling on the west side. But Casper, he sees the window break and he immediately gets on the defensive. He finds that cam, finally going to take it out. So now that they are blind, he just has to watch the window, and he's got Mango's going to be watching his foyer for when he actually repels up to.
Yeah, but this time Casper is also quite knowledgeable of the fact that there might have been a run out. I'm not too sure what is happening with that Jaeger as well, as Muesli will be able to take down God Legion, the Valkyrie player of Oddity, with 2 minutes still good to go, and the first frag going into the hands of LK, but Vast will be able to trade him out pretty swiftly from the very peculiar spot as well, being the elevator.
Losing your Glaz as your first operator is not a good sign. That being said, what is a good thing is Bundy's actually going to get the wall open, so now they have access to the site, and he's just going to put a lot of rounds down range straight into that bookcase. Finds no one, and Casper, who has been tagged up as well, is just going to try and gain some intel for exactly where this Oddity lineup is sitting.
Ooh, a shot.
Shabs jumps out, Mangoes trades him straight back, but the IQ gets dropped. But that leaves us in a 3 versus 3. LK, they're not out of it just yet, and they're still in a pretty good spot. With a minute left, they got plenty of time.
Yeah, with a minute left indeed, and still plenty of room to work around, whereas Oddity is slowly kind of losing their ground. 2 people around the objective, and then 1 on the roam, which could semi-work out, but I have my doubts as well, both sides. So, to be honest, this could go both ways, and I'm a bit unsure which exact way this could go, because Mangoes is back once again on the windows. The walls have not been breached. Well, actually no, 1 wall has been breached. And if they come funneling through there without any info, they might lose the firefights.
Bundy picks up the frag. He's going to go for the plant now. He's behind the bookcases. He's not actually behind stable cover, but his teammates are covering him off here. So he's going to get the plant. He pays for it with his life, but he did his job. Todd picks himself up to double kills and drops Jay-Z's out as well. Mangoes is taking out Vast. That leaves it in a 1v1. Todd versus Mangoes. Mangoes is going to get dropped as Todd's jumped out, but he's stuck on the outside of the map. He has plenty of time left. I do believe he's going to be able to get around, and he's going to be able to get this defuse.
That's still a marathon and a half to walk around. Vinny calling him the Usain Bolt, trying to get back to it. And definitely cutting it a bit close.
Nah, he's got that. Plenty of time. So that round's going to go over to Oddity. The map is going to go to Oddity here, and it's going to be a 7-2 shutout.
Yeah, 7-2 like we called it, like I called it before.
Right, I won't doubt you, Cthulhu.
Yeah, let me get a quick sip of I told you so. But
It's starting to sound like Monkey more and more every day.
I mean, I did get to cast with Monkey yesterday, so maybe it's spreading. You never know.
And we do actually get to see what the zoomed out animation of that looks like. I didn't realize the frag grenade just stopped.
Yeah, it just...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Mangoes, though, 10 kills. God Legion gets 10 as well. Todd on 9. Mangoes really the only beacon of hope on that Lowkey side. I think that was a very strong performance from Oddity. A very underwhelming performance from Lowkey. So I don't know, like Lowkey, they had a good showing yesterday, so I'm not sure whether Oddity have just done their homework and have their number, or whether Lowkey weren't quite prepared for Bank. I'm not quite sure which one it is.
It felt a little bit of both, because Oddity seemed to be quite prepared for some of the plays that LK had, but at the same time, it felt that Lowkey were also pulling somewhat of a ranked strats at some of the points that they were defending. But
yeah, it wasn't particularly. Some of it didn't particularly seem like well set up. Like the thought process was there, but something wasn't quite there in the cohesion, right? Like, you could see the thought process for the strategies, but something didn't quite like work.
Yeah. And but now thinking about the next map being what I believe Clubhouse, yeah, as we're seeing it the second time today. I feel that might actually have a similar turnout by from both teams, because Clubhouse can be somewhat played. Clubhouse feels to me that it has a somewhat similar play style, but it allows slightly less flexible roam.
Yeah, so the roam is still very, very possible within Clubhouse. We saw it impact the Fnatic versus Mindfreak game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely possible to get the roam off. So hopefully Oddity can get some very nice roaming off, and hopefully for Lowkey's sake, they can actually start getting some good roams going as well, because they need it, because every time they've stayed on site, they got dismantled piece by piece, right? So they were hung, quartered, drawn, and sent to the four corners of the globe every time they did a 5-man defense. So it was just sort of... I really want to see Lowkey spread out a bit more. I want to see them start to utilize the full of the map, right? When they were successful, they had flanks, they had roams, they had, Mangoes in the foyer doing what he can. So I think on Clubhouse, they really need to get these flanks, and I think they need to put Mangoes on a 3-speed roamer.
All right. I reckon, yeah, I have to agree with you, but I don't think Mangoes should be let to roam alone.
Oh, no,
I feel,
absolutely.
Yeah, him
He
and
needs a partner.
Yeah, him and JCZ have been performing a couple of good plays out together, but yeah, I definitely do agree with you. Chuck Mangoes onto the 3-speed roamer and have him just go crazy all around the map. Just go on those world tours throughout the whole location, and I feel that might be actually a good recipe for win.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that needs to be Lowkey's strategy. I think they need to play heavily on their strengths, because at the moment Oddity is completely exploiting their weaknesses.
Yeah. And with that in mind, though, we will be moving in right onto the bomb. I was about to say clubhouse, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, why can't we play hostage, right? Like, I want to see some hostage.
Especially bring Fuse on a hostage situation. That's the best idea possible.
You are Russian. All right, so we are going to see a Maverick ban being taken here by Lowkey. That's interesting.
Okay, well that is somewhat understandable, because Maverick can be a huge nuisance to deal with, especially with his ability. Jackal will be banned out as well, which is
it's the second time Oddity have banned Jackal. I'm starting to think they really don't like him.
Yeah. Now, for the ban-wise, I think we might see actually a Mirror Echo ban, which will be a standard one. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that really wouldn't surprise me. Mirror Echo could be very, very powerful. Maestro would be the other one you'd want to take off the table here. I wouldn't mind seeing a Mute getting banned off this. You've already lost the Maverick. Maybe a Bandit would be another good idea, so you can guarantee the Thermite take. But Mirror, it will be indeed.
Yeah. Taking out Maestro is a bit of a questionable choice in my opinion, because he is so much beneficial, and especially when you're holding CCTV and cash, with him being able to keep the long angle going pretty well. But I think with him, there's still... God dang it, Mangoes. There's still plenty of operators that we could have that would be able to hold that pixel angle. We saw Virtue, the Jaeger, just early on tonight.
I really think that banning out that Maverick is really going to change the way this map gets.
Attackers need to locate,
because it's not going to be as easy to open up it's not going to be as easy to open up that that balcony, the east wall. So I think that if Muesli can stay there and trick, they definitely should be able to shut down Vinny's push in. Other than that, we might see them default around to a construction push, utilizing their Habanas for as many angles as they can possibly get. But double hard breach here is a very, very good way to start Clubhouse.
Oh yeah. Have Hibana, like you said, open small peak holes, like as many of them as possible to have the angles, then use Thermite, one on the CCTV wall and one on the west wall just outside of the gym. Pretty much sorted on the two-man push, which will be able to split the attention of Lowkey Esports enough for Oddity to be able to push in.
Yeah, they really, really should. We're seeing, heavy focus onto the garage. No Monty, so they don't feel comfortable pulling out the APAC strats. Monty had 100% pick rate in the APAC Invitational Qualifier land on Clubhouse. So I'm interested to see, other teams not quite imitating it just yet. Shabs trying to find one. It is Viddy who ends up dropping Bundy though. So now they have full control of that catwalk. Of course, people downstairs now though in the garage. And
yeah, a good start right now for Oddity as well. Being able to out the Echo, one of the two main diffuser plan denials, which is going to be a very good start. But Mango's playing this close, nearly lost his head as well if he would have gone for that peek, which happily for him, he decides to pull back and will be using his utility to slow down the round a
Attackers
little
have
bit more.
located a bomb.
Yeah, Muesli's been taken very, very low. He only has probably 1 bullet in him, maybe 2 if he's lucky. And Oddity here are in a strong position with 1:30 left. And that's going to be an explosion. Muesli got very, very aggressive. He actually finds the kill on Shabs as Shabs died trying to throw a smoke grenade. Making very, very good use of that thermite charge. Vinny is just going to back off a little bit, wait until that smoke grenade pops off. And no, he's going to regroup back around. Vinny is the one with the diffuser, so it looks like they're going to try and go for a garage push here. The C4 comes out. God Legion now with a slither of health. He is literally on 1 HP here.
Indeed he is, and I don't think there's many people that could actually reset him at this position at least without him getting out safely, because there's another C4, but it won't be taking down God Legion at all as that one fly in far enough. And as the smoke darts that will be coming out, the utility has been used up. Both of the C4s have been used, so now only the smoke grenades that can be used. The JCZ drops down, gets the kill, but JCZ will be taken out. Pardon, that was Todd. But now all up to Mango's once again. The Clutchmeister of Lowkey manages to find a nice flick and kill, but now will be challenged by the 2 people who are repelled at the east wall. Won't be able to spot fast, and that is round 1 going into the hands of Oddity.
Yeah, Oddity, a very nice attack there. Very nice cover of the plant. They managed, that was a good shot. They managed to dismantle the pieces that they need to be able to push their way in. And they managed to get the plant, back off, and just cover it. It was a good try by Mangoes to try and get the retake, but unfortunately, Oddity just won their gunfights.
Yeah, that way. This time CCTV cache once again will be the choice. A retry for LK with the very same, actually pardon, no, the same, yeah. Same roster of operators. Hopefully for them, they won't lose Echo as quickly as they did before, because I do feel that his role would have been quite beneficial for the end of the round.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna put him up on the, catwalk of Garage, whoever is on catwalk gets put under immense pressure, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like they end up usually having 2 or 3 people trying to take him out and shoot at them. If your goal is to have Echo left over at the end of the round, don't put him on catwalk, right? Like, put him somewhere else. Put him in construction. Put him in bedroom, whatever it may be. But you don't put him on catwalk.
Yeah,
so
certainly not the best.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
For that,
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Casper finding a drone. He's still on the lookout for others, but I think we're going to see a very similar push here by Oddity. They didn't show a lot of adaptation between rounds on their attacks. Mostly relying on their superior gun skills to Lowkey.
Yeah, and then it looks like the control of Garage, at least the one of the halves, given away. Bundy will be once again on the on that grind, and wow, Laz is just poking through.
You stand up, you are dead, Shabs.
Shabs trying to get some closure for himself. Will be trying to get a peek and spam it, but can't seem to find it.
That shot. He just can't land it. Well, they are bandit tricking. The Hibana's going to go off though, so that'll put an end to any chance of a trick.
At this time, also Vinny is going to spot the rotation hole, so which he might actually find the kill.
Bundy is dead at this point. Yep, there we go. Shab's finally going to nail him as he does stand up. And that Echo's life is again forfeit.
Yeah, without even Echo trying to contest on that as well. So Mangoes is now fallen back as well. Not really that much denial for Lowkey, as that hole is completely opened up and ready to be through. There's the Valcam that is gone, and now full control of Garage and the rotation. That is really going to be quite beneficial.
Potentially, they still have an Echo drone in Garage. I would have put one there. Right, if I was Bundy and I was Echo, I would have put a Yokai drone in the very corner of the stairwell, the Garage, right? Like, it's invisible, it's out of the way, you know your life is forfeit as Echo if you're sitting on there anyway. Why not put a Yokai drone there so you can watch it after you die?
True. First, Todd and Vinny will be picking up a kill each, as the quite obvious picks were the mistake of Lowkey Esports. Mangoes is down, now JCZ needs to try to clutch this up. Will be contesting with Shabs, finally takes him down, but now 4 more operators. That's a nice headshot onto Todd. Will be evening it out to 3v1, but Vinny having none of that. He's shutting it down, and round 2 will be going once again into the hands of Oddity.
Yeah, and we're seeing very similar things out of Oddity here. They're getting very, very good new advantages. They are getting the plant down, but then post-plant, when they're in a, you know, a 1v4, 2v4, whatever it may be, they're getting unnecessarily aggressive one by one, right? They're getting very frag heavy rather than just sitting back, watching their angles, covering each other off. We see them getting over aggressive for that final frag, and I think if they push their luck enough, they are going to lose a round. Right? That they are going to eventually lose a round to it if they keep pushing their luck.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
But this time, there will be a switch up in the setup. Lowkey will be now attempting to defend the master bedroom, and somewhat still similar to the whole of the DVN cache. And
why is Bundy back on Alibi? Okay, so
yeah.
Bundy played a lot of Alibi in Bank.
And it wasn't that.
It was
productive.
completely ineffective.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he did anything, right, if I'm being honest. He's a fragger. Like, if you're playing Alibi, you need to pick up frags. He didn't get that. His prisoners weren't acting as information gatherers, as they were just getting eliminated straight away. Maybe he'll have a bit more success on this map than what he did on the last one, as there's no IQ, but I think he should be bringing someone. I think he should be bringing another operator with a bit more
Utility.
Yeah, like maybe a mute.
I reckon Echo could have been good right now, like on this side. You have him sit down in the bathrooms because it's now fully reinforced for LK, and then have him sitting on the drones and giving away all the positions of the attackers, because he wasn't able to score any frags from Garage, playing a fragging Echo. So at least have him gather the information, because you already have a Valk. Why not have any more info? Like, you need all of the advantages.
Stay back.
Yeah, and we're seeing this. Ooh, interesting. So he's going for just a little peek hole, but they're going to end up seeing each other. Todd's the one who wins the duel. Headshot Bundy, and that's that Alibi now off the table. Bundy being ineffective again. Shabs is going to find one. Shabs is going to find himself a second through the smoke as he ends up walking into a gas grenade. It takes very little damage to it. And those prisoners are now cleared out. The cash room is now cleared out. And Oddity now have a 3-man advantage.
That is definitely not what you want right now from Lowkey Esports. And Lowkey right now look completely destroyed compared to their performance against Fnatic even.
I don't know how JCZ did not take any damage there. I thought he got hit, but alas, he manages to find the headshot on the Shabs, drops that Glaz. JCZ then finally takes a little bit of damage, but this 2-man hold still has 4 people to deal with. JCZ is now going to make it a 2 versus 3. All of a sudden, it's not looking too unbelievable that they might actually take this back.
Yeah, even with still a 1-man disadvantage for Lowkey, it certainly looks like the last 2 remaining players might actually have a good standing chance against the remaining of Oddity. line up.
Alright, Oddity, they've sort of hit a passive point. They're not quite sure what to do. As Muesli's going to find Vast, so now it's a 2 versus 2. This two-man squad has done so well for Lowkey so far, but this Oddity lineup, they don't know what to do. They're both getting pinged, so they know exactly where they are. 20 seconds left. One of them has dropped downstairs to go down. JC, JCZ's so close to landing that headshot. Not going to find anything. They know one was below. That's going to be a dead Capitao. They now have control of Diffuser. There's one left on the main stairs. It's all up to Muesli. He's going to get the C4 kill. And Lowkey pull out a 2v5 clutch.
5 indeed, and what a turnout just in general. That was very well executed, but also extremely unexpected. Because
yeah, I'm not really sure what happened to Oddity just then. They lost Shabs, and then they just stalled, right? They lost Shabs, and they lost all the momentum after that happened.
Yeah.
Two of them were standing outside that gym window for probably 30 to 45 seconds. Like, they weren't doing anything out there. They weren't achieving anything out there. They were just standing.
They were just there, yeah. And it definitely seemed that the moment Lowkey Esports started to throw all the strats out the window and just went for the solo plays, that's where they managed to get their teeth back. Maybe that's the playstyle that they should be going for. Go for those kind of fragging solo plays rather than have strats, because so far, yes, they had good theory, but the execution was poor. All in all.
Yeah, so Lowkey pick up the gym and bedroom.
Yeah, deciding to go
I'm
with...
still a little shocked. Like, I'm still a little bit in shock.
10 seconds remaining.
That was, yeah, a bit of a interesting turnout of event, but a very pleasant one to see as well, because Lowkey before were just getting absolutely bashed and smashed during their first 2 rounds, and now all of a sudden they managed to get a comeback, and what a play out that was. Very well done.
Yeah, I'm not quite... Yeah, that was really well done by, you know, Muesli and Jay-Z. They did very, very well. But Oddity now, they have to not let that get to them, right? Losing a 2v5 like that can be tilting.
Yeah.
And Oddity needs to not let that happen. They need to really focus on achieving the W this time. They're attacking basement, so they know what they need to do. They know what they need to achieve, and it's slowly coming into effect.
Yeah, and they have a very stable setup. You have the Capitao for those smokes. You have Thatcher, 2 hard breaches, a glass. I mean, so far they have everything ready to go, and the only thing that they do need to watch out would be, in my opinion, Pulse and a Echo. Because yeah, Echo been shut down very frequently so far, but at the same time, if Echo will be playing on a very anchor-heavy position and his drones to gather the information for Pulse and Muesli get their C4 kills, then I'd say this could be extremely beneficial. There's the impact grenade trick as well, so there won't be any breach at all for the kitchen hatch, which could definitely benefit the Lowkey Esports.
Well, they've still got two exothermic charges, right, sitting on Vinny right now, so he could potentially use one on that. Betty's going to try and go for this side window. The ash wall is reinforced, but Casper is getting so much information in front of that. He's waiting for his satches to come around. Vast, not quite there just yet, but he needs to cover off his flanks. That's a dangerous spot to go on your drone, mate. I would feel safer in front of the ash wall right now, but... C4 comes out, they don't achieve anything.
Yeah, first C4 will not be getting any closure, but there's still one more, so... And Casper's feeding through all the info. There's the...
Any EMP nades.
What is happening? ACZ gets the kill, but Bundy will be taken down by Shabs as the gas grenade will completely destroy Shabs. There's a double kill from Muesli as well. Muesli...
Wow!
I mean, Muesli and Mangoes, what happened? How was that allowed?
Okay, so what happened, they were all ready to push that wall, right?
Yeah.
What they wanted to do was open up the wall, to go in and plant behind the desk.
Yeah.
Fast did not have any EMP grenades left. Right?
Yeah.
So they could not remove the bandits off that wall. It stalled them out. It took them way too long to work out that they didn't have any EMP grenades. It took them way too long to work out that they needed another strategy. And Oddity then just funneled through the 2 entrances that they had left to them and got mowed down by the Lowkey lineup.
Yeah, and definitely didn't help the fact that Thermite decided to permanently drop down towards that wall
Attackers need to
instead of
locate and defuse
seeing if
bomb.
he can pop open one of the hatches to get going for the team. But less than 2-2 now scoreline, is just as I was saying that Lowkey lost their bite like it was during the Fnatic match. They managed to even it out on the second map. But nonetheless, full reinforcement of garage this time to prevent any push from below. No echo. Bundy playing on a dock this time and having the bulletproof camera to
10 seconds
have some
remaining.
overlook. So hopefully for him,
5
he'll
seconds
be able
left.
to find the kills from that very spot. Otherwise, this will be his just cursed spot
Attackers recovered the
at this
diffuser.
stage.
Attackers must locate. and
Yeah,
defuse
he
the
obviously
bomb.
wants an A. We've seen Legions be played to very, very good in this spot.
We saw Virtue
but-
player on Jaeger today as well.
Yeah, and he obviously prefers the ACOG. I don't think it's going to happen. The trick is trying to come down.
A bomb has been
It's
located.
not going to happen. So they do manage to get the wall open. That's a very quick wall open by Oddity. Fast. If he shot maybe 4 seconds earlier, probably would have landed the kill. That's a very, very injured Bundy. Luckily, he is Doc, though. He should be able to heal himself up. Shabs is going to peace out. He does see him behind that wall again. And he's already back to full health, but he has used 2 of his stims.
Round 2, fight.
Yeah, basically. Shabs versus Bundy, the ultimate showdown. Shabs, unfortunately, just ADS at the wrong time. Todd's going to find JC. And he's going to, unfortunately, take a nap for the rest of this round. Shabs potatoes just a little bit and pays for it with a lot of his health.
That is a fair chunk of health, but that forces Doc out of his position, and Gold Legion will try to follow up.
Shabs going to reset himself.
Yeah, Shabs will get himself reset, so that is a good go for him. And a man advantage so far over Oddity
Attackers have
could
located
be
a
a good
bomb.
thing, but nothing lost is not lost just yet, as we just saw before. Lowkey managing to clutch it out from 2v5 to 0v2. So
Yeah. So there's still a man down though. Like JC has been dropped. He has been the backbone of this map so far for Lowkey, and he's been taken off the board. So you got to feel like Oddity is in a very strong position, but Casper is going to step up and he's going to remove the head off Todd. They've now lost the Hibana. God Legion gets tagged up a little bit, but nothing too much, as the smokes are going to come out. And they're going to start the plant here. I don't even actually know where that's being planted, but it doesn't help. It was in the corner. Vinny gets down. Vast is going to get himself a double kill though, as he managed to put a save for Vinny's life. They're going to reset him. Shabs has run through and picked up the diffuser. Shabs is actually going to go plant on the other bomb
what is
site.
happening?
Last one left. God Legion picks him up, and Oddity pick up the round.
That was a very convincing round from Oddity, now that they managed to kind of recollect themselves back up and just like that have everything going for them. A little bit of sloppy play from Shabs on his glass, but managing to put some extra pressure on Doc and force him from that position was also still a good feature for him to pull off.
Yeah, so all he had to do was just make Bundy move, right? Like Bundy was in a crossfire from that east balcony, so he was in a spot where he could absolutely get pincered, and so all he had to do was force him to move, which at the end of the day he did. Bundy got killed, he got picked up, and that's really all that matters, right? Like, it doesn't matter who
Protect your
gets
bombs
that kill
from
as long as
being
it
defused by
happens.
attackers.
Yeah. But now moving beyond the gym and master bedroom hold, which I do believe was carried out by on the shoulders of JZ and was it Muesli?
Yes,
Yeah.
2v5. Yeah, Musi got the C4 kill, but JC was the one who did most of the work that round, and you're seeing it in that kill spread, actually.
Wow.
JC and Muesli.
Doing all the work.
Yep, and again, Bundy on this alibi, he's done literally nothing with it. I really want to see him on something else. He's not bringing anything to the team comp, right? Like, he's not bringing anything. He's forfeiting his life, and his prisoners are not achieving anything. They're not information gathering. They're not helping getting frags. They're not slowing down Oddity in any meaningful way. And he gets one bullet, takes him to half health again. Bundy, I think, needs to come off this alibi.
Yeah, he certainly does need to lose the alibi to maybe get some more utility, like you've been saying that before. Because
Mute would be a fantastic pick.
yeah, Mute right now on defending even the garage is going to be an amazing one. But oh well.
Loading back.
Cabs, Odd, and Vast will be moving in as a trio to push the ETV and Cash. That is a nice.
Mango's not going to fall for it though.
Yeah, that is a complete denial of that peak onto Vast, and that is actually a Thatcher off the board as well. So
yeah, that's a good early pick.
Yeah, no disable of the electronics anymore, but the Hibana charges are still going to be there. Pop some holes open and be ready to go.
Yeah, he's still sitting in a very, very strong spot. They need to try and force him out. Gonna find Bundy though. You know, that's that alibi off the board now.
Bundy.
And yep, Bundy is still gonna remain on 0 frags.
But hey, he has one assist. Getting
Mangoes is just trying to waste as much time as possible, right? So at this point, Mangoes is aware that he is going to die, right? He is aware it's going to happen. What he needs to do right now is force as much time off that clock. But Shabs is going to pick him up. God Legion finds Casper, and all of a sudden it's a 2 versus 4. But we've seen this before on this site, and
yeah, exactly
JC and Muesli came up pretty massive last time.
Yeah, this time it's a 4v2 situation. And yeah, the two main clutches that did do a lot of work on that previous defense of Master and Jim still remain to be alive. And 30 seconds, not a lot of time for the attackers to work with.
Yeah, again, they're just sort of sitting outside this window, aren't they? Like, this is where they wasted all the time last time. But the difference is no one's covering off this window this time. They're ready to jump in whenever they need. They're going to swap out to the smoke. And there goes one. There goes the second. They're in the site now, but the ping is coming down on the planter. Muesli's rushing through. He's going to deny the plant.
10 seconds remaining. Attackers have recovered their defuse.
JC picks up that one. Muesli finds the pistol kill on another one. Muesli denies the plant, and JC picks up another one. And just like that, another 2v4 hold for Lowkey.
I'm shocked. I'm full-on shocked at how are Oddity allowing this to happen. But at the same time, big ups for Lowkey as they're managing to just completely out it.
Okay, Oddity have pretty much their entire support team sitting in chat watching the game right now, right? Like, it's something that their organization does to show support to their team. If you're watching that as a support team member, a manager, a coach, the owner of the organization, and you watch your team fail the same push, the same time, in the exact same situation, with the exact same circumstances, you really want your manager and coach to have a chat with the team about adapting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sound too harsh on Oddity right now, but that's the second round on that same side that they should have won, and they didn't because their push was suboptimal. They had a thermite. They didn't open the west balcony. They didn't have any flanks, and they all funneled through the same window. times in a row.
I feel that
Attackers recovered the bomb
the reason why they lost
Attackers
it
objective
was
is to locate a bomb
first
and defuse
due
it.
to the fact that the rest while Vinny was planting,
Attackers
the
have
rest
dropped
of
bomb
the
diffuser.
roster was still
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Actually,
Yeah.
you know where he should have planted that he would have been safe?
yeah.
It's behind the reinforced wall, right? Like one out of 3 of the walls was reinforced, and he planted. And both the times the plant went down, they both planted behind the soft wall, right? The middle wall was reinforced, but they didn't plant it. I think that if they had planted there, it would have covered off from Muesli. Potentially, they could have planted down, maybe salvaged the round. Just small things like that can have a huge impact.
Yeah, and felt odd how before just uncoordinated. Mangoes, come on, mate, you can pull out.
I just wanted to be safe. I understand that entirely from Mangoes, as they know that someone was pushing through construction now, but no one going after him, so he does actually lose his health unnecessarily. And Lowkey looking to set up fully for a construction push here, as they do. I don't know if that was intentional to lose the drone down the hole, but
Bomb located by attackers.
I think maybe it was with shots going down there.
Could be there, but Mangoes is already on the case to wreak some havoc from below, so that might get a couple of Oddity players moving. The tag is also coming through.
They just put Habanas down on a...
That is a very cheeky spot to be from by Vinny, and minute 12 still left to go, and already the gas grenades are being used up.
Yeah, Bundy's gonna finally get a kill for himself as he downs Vast, manages to take him off the board. That's smoke being taken off. They're gonna thermite open the wall, and now they have full control on this site. Sub 1 minute though.
Yeah, still plenty of things to do. Todd though knifes Mangoes after a very unfortunate encounter for Mangoes, but Buck now off the board, so no more chaos from below. And a one-dimensional push which would allow Oddity to go for a flank. Casper just droned out right up the back alley of Legion.
It's a very safe place to put a drone, I guess. But, you know, it's just sort of like this one man just sitting here is stopping this push, as now Oddity's finally opening up on the frags. Shab gets himself a second as Todd does himself another C4 kill. JC finds Vinny though, and it is all left up to JC in a 1v3. He manages to find one. That's his second. He's going to have to go for the plant here. 5 seconds left. He can't go for the frags. At this point, he is just going to be cannon fodder. Time runs out.
Yeah, just like this, Oddity will be taking the win, even after the fact that he had the a good chunk of the site on control. And the moment those C4 started flying in, that's
Lowkey, in my opinion, lost that round when they failed to push in, and Shabs I think it was Shabs holding that angle near the stairs. Like, he held off 3 of them, 4 of them, for like how long, just sitting there prone being pinged. Like, they were just pinging him and pinging him and pinging him, and he didn't care being pushed. Right, like you can drone someone all you want. If you're not going to push them, what's the point of droning them, right? Like, he could just sit there and literally hold his angle, and that's what he did. So I think that their failure to deal with that single angle is what cost them that round.
Yeah. Now here's an interesting thing that I want to talk to you about. Lowkey bringing in the Ying that we've seen very rarely throughout these 2 Playdays so far. We didn't see much of her as well during the invitational qualifiers. And Oddity don't have a Jaeger.
Look at that kill spread for Lowkey.
Yeah, look at that. Jason's out and Muesli just yeah, we can carry. That's all good.
2-man team, they got this. But yeah, no, the Ying is a very interesting pick. To me, this says this is going to be a much more vertical play. They're going to have much more hatch emphasis, and probably going to end up trying to get the plant onto Armory, is what this says to me with this Ying.
Certainly looks like it. To me, it just says that, yeah, that it'll be a very deep through the hatches. and just the moment like everyone is set in, just push in with those candelas and just go for that quick plant while the rest of the team is covering it. By the way,
See you on the
okay,
other side.
already quite swiftly in just under a minute we'll be popping open the hatches to be as quick as possible, prep for the setup on the push.
Tossing
Currently one
flashbang.
person still looking to be playing in the blue tunnel, with that being, I believe, Shabs on the smoke. Quite curious actually how will that work out for LK, whether the bringing over Ying would actually be able to score them another point, or whether Oddity would be able to get the point back. I mean, get the point again.
Yep, I think Oddity, they've got something to prove, because their last attack on this bomb site was... like, LK. They've really got something to prove here, because they've very, very successful. But Vinny's going to open up the frags. He's going to drop Casper. That's that Ying off the board. Threw one Candela, but nothing came of it. Usually trades out Vinny, but Vast and Shabs picks one up a piece for them, and that leaves it in a 2 versus 4. Oddity in a strong defensive position right now. The gas babe goes out. It's going to stop nothing and no one, as there's no one in blue. Long angles trying to be held here by Lowkey. Bundy slowly pushing his way in. He is the one with the fuser getting tagged out from the side. Whiffs his shots just a little bit. Gets taken really, really low. JCZ's going to put down his smoke bolts. Bundy not quite pushing his way in just yet.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Vast will be trying to contest. Bundy picks up another kill for himself, now making it a 3v2. And I'd say this is a much more workable situation. JCZ still knowing that there's a Legion right behind those lockers, will be trying to get him out of there, but Legion already rotated off while JCZ was swapping out the ammunition. Will now attempt to help his teammate with the smoke grenade. There's one, so now they will need to keep an eye out for the bars. Ooh, a nice long headshot by Gold Legion will be settling the deal, as Todd will be the one to close it out from the bar. And already now in a 2-round advantage over Lowkey Esports.
Yeah, that was a solid hold by Oddity right there. They managed to get the fires. Lowkey, unfortunately, just funneled straight into them. Straight into their crossfires. So, yeah, and then Oddity with the man advantage just sort of pulled back. As soon as the diffuser got dropped by Bundy at the back there, that was sort of round in my opinion. JCZ had to push his way in and just put himself in the middle of 3 people, and it just wasn't going to work out. But gym bedroom now going to be held by Oddity. This is the first time we're seeing them go to the gym.
Yeah, and with that though, 5-3, only one more. Was that a 6-pick from castle onto castle?
Defenders, protect your bombs from
It certainly was.
attackers.
Wow, epic, epic Pro League strats right there, ladies and gentlemen. Nonetheless, Oddity Esports busting out the gym and bedroom, getting in the hopes of getting the revenge of that, I'd say, humiliating turnout of events while they were on offense against Lowkey.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So we'll have to see whether or not Oddity can have... I don't know if you'd want to say them to have the same success, because honestly, the defense wasn't a success for Lowkey. Just the attack was so poor from Oddity.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they actually... Oddity had a very good initial attack, and then after that it just collapsed, right? Like, so... I don't know if you'd even wish the same success to Oddity, because it would probably just fall apart and they wouldn't be able to salvage the rest of it, because I doubt Lowkey would waste the absolute advantage that they had.
Well, first of all, Oddity is already at an advantage because they don't have an alibi. So let's start off with that. Second of all, they castled off the cache, so that will be a usage of the utility from LK if they decide not to dash down. Third of all, Casper just broken down one of the main castle barricades being in the gym. So
yeah, it's a little interesting. I'm not quite exactly sure what they wanted to but it gets taken out. Casper's going to find the head of Shabs, though. That's going to put them in a good start for Lowkey. A very nice tight angle being held by Bundy here. He's not find anything as no one's peeking out. I do believe that is God Legion sitting in the same spot we saw Aces.
No, I think that was on the main staircase. Nonetheless, oh, there's a grenade from Mangoes to take out God Legion as well, and that is the control of the hallway now, fully taken by Lowkey Esports. Vinny will be getting the better off GCZ, but oh, Mangoes nearly flicking over to the Elysian. Now 2v4 once again, well 2v3 technically, as Vast manages to finish him off. There's a peek on, so Vast won't be able to score anything with that pre-fire, and now all left to the hands of Todd, the ex-member of Atletico, now Orgless. Will need to clutch it up. The flashbangs start coming out. He still hasn't revealed his position yet, but all three members of Lowkey Esports are holding their respectable angles, and really not that much to go for. Tags up Thermite quite so substantially.
Yeah, that was so close. He's slowly starting to run out of ammo, though. He's going to get picked up by Muesli. And Lowkey managed to successfully attack it. And it seems like they really have this gym bedroom right down pat, doesn't it? Like they got all the answers.
They had that nailed down quite well, and very well executed and swiftly as well. They knew how. I feel that they, like, out of all the plans, this was their like one to shine, my opinion. But now that we are going on for the round 10, 5 to much more serious performance by Lowkey compared to their bank turnout.
Yeah, this is gone very, very differently to bank, where we saw Lowkey get dismantled piece by piece.
Yeah.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
now
attackers.
It seems like Oddity is. I don't know. I don't. Oddity have lost 2 rounds that they should have won. So arguably right now this map should be over. And it's still a 2-man show. Mangoes has sort of stepped up. Mangoes has stepped up into the fray right now, but ultimately it's still a 2-man show for Lowkey, right? We're much more even kill spread for Oddity, but you know, two lost rounds for Oddity. Arguably this map should be over right now, right? Like everything that Lowkey has picked up so far has been free. It's rounds that they shouldn't have got.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb
and
defuse it.
I think that yes, Lowkey have put up a better performance than what they have in bank, but that's more due to Oddity losing rounds rather than Lowkey winning it. I don't know.
Yeah. Or would you say that it could be due to the fatigue of Oddity, or could there be just something else?
Maybe complacent, like complacency. Like if they in a 5v4, in a 5v2 and then a 4v2, they've lost respectively. Like maybe complacency got the best of them. Like, oh yeah, we've got such a numerical advantage. It doesn't matter what we do now.
Loading mag.
And you lose. Like so. Potentially complacency has got the better of.
Indeed. But now Casper will be actually getting the first frag for Lowkey, getting rid of Valkyrie, but this is at poke out the Jaeger, but for him the asphyxiating bolts won't be getting near the Jaeger.
Yeah, just a little bit too high, unfortunately. If he shoots a little bit lower, he will start burning him. But he doesn't feel particularly safe to take it. There we go. Manages to shoot a God Legion, get it burned up. He dies to the asphyxiating bolt. No, he stepped back into it. He was safe where he was. He just didn't have to move. God Legion, though, going to get burnt at the stake. And, well, at the shield in this case. And JCZ is going to start pushing his way in.
I'm a bit confused why didn't God Legion decide to bail out of there, but alas, JCZ will be picking up another kill onto Vast, and there's a C4 from Shabs. Vinny will be getting the kill onto Mangoes, and suddenly this is evening out. And just as I say that, Casper will be taking out Vinny. Now all up to Shabs. Try to clutch this up. We did see a similar clutch from Shabs before, but Casper will be swiftly able to take him down from below, I believe. Yes, that is from below. And Lowkey managing to even it up, 5-5. Doesn't seem that they're ready to give up just yet.
Yeah, I have been very impressed with this comeback from Lowkey. They were given a saving grace, they have utilized it, and they have just run with it, right? Like Lowkey, you don't get thrown chances like this every day, so it's good to see them taking it and being able to bring it back 5-5.
Yeah, but the main question right now, can they keep it up? Because the pressure keeps on growing up, and whoever will win for this round will be able to go to the match point, meaning they will definitely secure themselves at the very least a draw. Right now, for Lowkey, they need that draw at the very least to get themselves slightly higher on the leaderboard.
Yeah, if Oddity are seriously looking at contesting 3rd place or even 2nd place here for the season, they need to pick up this win.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Lowkey, in all honesty, Lowkey will probably end up being in the bottom half of the ladder. Oddity cannot afford to draw this game when you start thinking in the long term for the ladder standings, because there's actually no playoff for this season, right?
Yeah.
There's no playoffs for this season. It is all set out just on your ladder result.
5 seconds left before insertion.
So if you drop games in the ladder in the regular season, you don't have the playoffs to fall back to, so you can't. It is more crucial to get every single point during the regular season now than what it was during Season 8.
Never mind though. Casper will proceed to get around, just popping up a couple of entrances. And Lowkey will be setting up for potential equal push for themselves. They're just first of all joining up around, and they will need to get rid of that garage hold before anything yet. Although I do think that reaching open that east will help quite substantially with the with pressuring the garage wall, because you have being pushed from 2 sides, and you need to worry about not getting shot from one of them and to back from another one.
God Legion's going to get burnt alive. He does manage to get out of it this time, as he doesn't have a shield to hop over. And the stun grenades are going to come out. They're not aware that he's moved, and they need to be very, very careful of those cash stairs right now. But God Legion lives to fight another day. That's the important part. So he is on that catwalk.
Loading new mag!
And at this point, all the angles are still held by Oddity. LK slowly pushing them out. They're not going to bandit trick that anymore, so it's a guaranteed thermite. Texan Dynamite does go off. They know exactly where God Legion is now, as they spot him on the drone. And he's not quite sure where it is. He throws the flashbang, throws the second flashbang. The ADS is getting burnt. God Legion is now on a slither of health. He's managed to stay alive for a while, but JCZ is finally going to put him out of his misery. And that leaves us in a one-man advantage.
A bomb.
Yeah, but with now just over a minute left, the time gate is slowly shrinking for LK, and they only now just started their approach towards the garage. So yes, there's still some time to go for, but at the same time, really not that much. DCZ takes a fair bit of damage, but Bundy and Casper will be doing a fair chunk of damage to the team. A peak, very ballsy one from Todd, will be scoring himself a kill before he's gonna get traded out. So now all up to Fast, who's now being looked over, and ooh, gets himself picked up. There's a push from Mangoes, and Fast will be going down again. Lowkey get the 6th round themselves, and now they're guaranteed a tie, which is quite impressive after a comeback.
Yeah, this is not what Oddity wanted, especially when you could make an argument that they should have won this map at 7-1.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you should have... They could have won this map at 7-1. Now they are sitting at 5-6 down with only 1 round left. Oddity have to scramble to get just the 1 point for the map right now. They are going to go basement. This is going to be their Hail Mary.
Yeah, but Casper so far has been performing quite well, being able to sow some chaos from below.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Like, looking at the score right now, JC and Muesli 15 and 10, 2 double digits. Angos and Casper already coming back with 7 and 6 kills, whereas on Oddity's side, we only have, well, Todd and Shab doing main amount of kills, with Gold Legion, Vinny, and Vast sitting on 5 to 6 kills. So, overall, yeah.
I think Lowkey have made the most of the opportunity that Oddity have gifted them. But let's not beat around the bush. This was gifted to them by Oddity. Oddity right now, I feel like, are very much being affected by tilt or something, because the latter half of this map from Oddity has been nowhere near the caliber that we have seen from them for the rest of this series. So whether they're tired, whether they're exhausted, whether they're tilted, I don't know what it is, but right now they need to get their head back in the game.
Definitely do, because this is a completely different Oddity that we're seeing compared to even the Bank performance that we saw. Bank was a great showcase for Oddity, but Clubhouse is certainly, especially the second half, is definitely something that desired of.
Yeah, it's not been fantastic for Oddity right now, and I know that kills his own drone through the wall, but Oddity will not walk away from this map happy. You can be pretty much assured of that at this point. But Lowkey, on the other hand, they're going to be really happy with themselves, right? Like, they were gifted a single chance and they made the most of it. They should be very proud of themselves for that. Lowkey have done tremendously in the second half map, and on this final round now, with just above a minute 30 left, slowly pushing their way in.
Yeah, final round right now, and what did he need at least to scrape off like 1 point to roll it out? Because apart from that, if that's not gonna happen, they're gonna have a tough time to stay in the top 3 spots this season.
Attackers have located
Especially after this week, but nonetheless, has already made his way down to there to attempt to clear out some of the roamers. Well, not the roamers, the rotations. Odd picks up a nice kill onto that Capitao, so that's him off the board nice and early.
That's the start that Oddity needed, right? But that is a good start for Oddity right now. Man advantage. They've got the Capitao off the board. They've got one of their best fraggers off the board.
Yeah.
So now Lowkey have to try and make do with what they have. They still haven't quite pushed their way in just yet. Muesli, though, is going to land a beautiful headshot in the Vast. Vast is going to have to spend the rest of this map wondering what went wrong. And it's all tied up. But 30 seconds left. This is going to be a mess for Lowkey. If we have seen anything from these last 30-second pushes, it favors the defenders. And I think that is what we're going to see here right now, unless something crazy happens. Last 20 seconds, Lowkey still haven't pulled the trigger. Todd's going to actually end up hiding a little bit here, see what he can surprise. The shot's coming through, he pops up, he drops Bundy, he drops the second one. That's a nice 2k for Todd. He's looking for his third. Potato's a bit of the cut shots. Vinny's going to pick it up though, and God Legion's going to find it, and we are drawn 6-6 on Clubhouse.
6-6, and what an amazing performance nonetheless for Lowkey, where it says both of us were saying that we'll be seeing a full-on domination by Oddity Esports. Very good performance overall. And this, like 11 to 10. Good showcase.
It was a very good showcase. It was a very scrappy map. It was a very messy map. But ultimately, they did manage to get there. And that's the important thing. 6-6 is a very close map, but I mean, I said it before, ultimately Oddity should have won that map and they didn't. So that's what happens if you throw a single chance at a team. They will generally take it and just run with it.
Yeah.
Right? Oddity gave him an inch and Lowkey took a mile.
Yeah. Lowkey managed to go away with so many plays. It's absolutely amazing. And they showed a somewhat similar manner with Fnatic when they played. This moment Fnatic gave them an opportunity, they just went for it. And won quite a few rounds of the top ANZ team. So overall, I'd say if I'm a Lowkey player and a fan, I'd be satisfied with their far.
Yeah, well, they've had two very tough teams so far.
Yeah.
They've had Fnatic, who arguably are a top team.
Yeah.
And then they've also had
Oddity.
Oddity, which is a very solid lineup. They're our third, fourth best team from last season, and now their lineup has only improved with the additions they've. So, I think that they have done. I think that they have done very well, particularly to get the draw against Oddity. I think they did very, very.
Yeah. But that comes an end for our Playday number 2. We had a pretty solid Playday so far. We had a good performance of Fnatic versus Mindfreak, where Fnatic did end up taking a quite convincing result at the end against their previous organization. And then Oddity versus Lowkey, quite an unexpected turn of events for the second map. All quite a good case the teams. And that will be a wrap up for tonight, gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning. Do not forget to tune in tomorrow as well for the Playday number 3, continuing with some more action of the ANZ Pro League. My name is Russian Cthulhu. I was joined by the wonderful one and only Mindfreak, and we'll be catching you in the next one. Get easy.
See you guys.
Up here, we're free, bound only